broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax relief advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
This Green and Gold Injury Report is brought to you by the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. If you've got an injury, just call Gingery. Zach Geloff has been placed on the 10-day IL with a right hand contusion. Mark Leiter's begun throwing on Monday after recovering from a hip injury, and Denzel Clark has started to play catch and a swinging progression while still on the 60-day IL. Luis Severino has been transferred from the 15-day IL to the 60-day IL.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms? At Gingery, Hammer, and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
Yes. Drive time with the Drive Guys. Alan Stiles taking you up to 6 p.m. Whitey Gleason out today. He will be back tomorrow as we get you ready for NBA free agency. So much has already happened, and I'm sure by the time we say goodbye at 6 p.m., a lot more will have happened. And, you know, I think the main thing on days like today is how you keep your head on a swivel with all the different news that is popping up. You got Kawhi, you got Precious Achiuwa, you still got the Jalen Duren thing that started off yesterday. So a lot of different directions to go. You got LeBron saying, thank you, Los Angeles, thank you. And I just want to open it up here for a second. And 916-339-1140. Our guy Jay, of course, behind the glass. And I just wanted to open up. Which direction would you go in? You know, there's no world where, at this point in time, where anything is impossible. KG, Kevin Garnett, said it best. Anything is possible. And when you think about that and some of the names that are floating around, Sam, the Athletic, talking about Jaylen Brown and his price tag, how that's changing a little bit. The Celtics, are they going to try to rehash what was going on in Boston, or do they still try to move Jaylen Brown at a different price tag? So many different storylines. I don't know about you, but it does feel, I don't know, Jay, going from the draft to, and the draft, a highly anticipated draft, to this offseason. You got LeBron in the mix. Obviously, and last season he opted into that $50 million. So we could have been in that situation with LeBron last offseason. Some of the other names that are floating around, the DeMar DeRozan decision, that might be made by the time 3 o'clock rolls around. I don't know, Jay. It feels like old school NBA free agency. Last offseason felt like a dud to me. This one, there's some heavy hitters rolling around.
I'm dead.
That's how it was last year. 1,000% with you. There are some big names.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're talking about when you say heavy hitters, the big names, the heavy hitters, moving and grooving. I'm with you. What's super interesting is they're older big names.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the Anthony Edwards, the Paolo Bancheros,
right?
Those type of names. It's the Trae Youngs, the Anthony Davises, the LeBrons, the Kawhis, the Giannis's, guys that are established stars. I don't know. One of the things that I continue to keep on thinking about is have we crossed over now into a new era of basketball when it comes to stardom?
Yeah.
Like, who's the biggest name in the NBA that's a young gun right now, like for you? Give me a name.
That could get moved? Or
No,
just in general?
I'm just saying, who's that young gun that looks like he's because what do we always talk about? Who's up next?
Yeah.
Who's up next? Like, who's up next, I guess?
I mean, if it's not Ant, because we always talk about Ant.
Say Ant, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ant or maybe Cade.
Okay.
Ant, Cade. Those are the two off the top of my head.
I'm with you, right?
And Wemby, but
Wemby, right? Of course, you probably could throw in Cooper Flagg now. Those guys are untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
All the 4 or 5 that we just named, now it's that those are the Kawhis, those are the LeBrons, those are the Giannis's of 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's like LeBron's moving again, Kawhi's moving again.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis has moved again, Trae has moved again, Giannis has moved again. I wouldn't dare trade Anthony Edwards right now.
No. I would not.
It's interesting.
And LaMelo was a weird one. He could have been in that conversation of untouchable, but the Hornets, I think the main thing for LaMelo has always just been health.
Yep.
We read the seasons. I think he's above 70 games one time in his career. So, we understand all of that. And now you have teams that are looking to take that step, and they have to decide how exactly, they're going to be able to do that. I know that LeBron, and we're going to spend some time on LeBron. I know LeBron is a polarizing figure, one of the most.
It's going up tonight for sure.
One of the most polarizing figures, I would say, to ever play in the NBA, because you either love him or hate him. I had some buddies from the Bay talking today, and they were just in shambles because they can't stand LeBron. Going back to the Cavs Warriors battles, and they don't want LeBron in the Bay. Right now, if it actually happens, I think they might change their tune, but that's what they're saying right now. And the thing about LeBron, I'm gonna tell you this much, Jay. Now, people get on me because, Allen is, he's so mean to De'Aaron Fox, and I say this: look, man, he's a great businessman. I'm gonna respect him for that. People have their feelings about LeBron, but I got to respect LeBron. He is going to get the most juice out of the squeeze you could ever imagine. If y'all didn't think that LeBron was going to go through a whole college recruitment for the last time to end his career, I don't know what to tell you. So he has said to Dave McMenamin, or he has said to his camp, who has let Dave McMenamin know, bring me every team. Every team that's interested in me, I want to know about. Now, he wants to play meaningful basketball, but I want to know about every team that says they're interested in me. Now, I don't know if Rich Paul will actually say every team to LeBron that's interested in him, but that is what Dave McMenamin said. That is what Dave McMenamin said. And I can't hate on LeBron. He's earned it to some degree. Why wouldn't he put himself in a situation like that? So I get it. LeBron is very polarizing. You love him, you hate him. I think most of us respect him at the very least. And this is his swan song. Then, Jay, the kicker is he's still throwing out. I still don't know if I'm going to keep playing, though. So y'all can try to sway me and bring me to your team. I might just say no. I'm not going to do that because we all know LeBron wants his swan song, but he's also going to just throw it out there. I might say no to all of you. So, again, 8,000 storylines today as we take you up to 6 p.m. Phone line's going to be open all day, of course, 916-339-1140, and the YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube chat. We have, now the morning started with Omari Sankofa II. Okay, the morning started with Omari putting out an article, putting out an article for the Detroit Free Press. And the article basically said it's safe to say the Pistons have no imminent plans or intentions to trade Jalen Duren. That's how the morning started, or even late last night. You know, we got different time zones. That's how all of that started. So we're going to have him on at 2:30 to get some more details, because that's what always makes me raise my eyebrow, right? Whenever I hear stuff or whenever something comes out that you don't normally see, that makes me raise my eyebrows. And when everybody else is jumping up and down, and this is so great, he wants to come to Sacramento, the number one thing I always think about and say to myself is, how often do you hear stuff like that? So if we go back to what Chris Haynes said, and this isn't about, look, Chris Haynes getting information, it's his job to put out whatever information he sees fit, right? Now, you, and I'm going to throw this to you, Jay, because I know you're going to have fun with this one.
Yes, sir.
Right? The idea, let's go back to this, Jay. Due to sizable distance apart in negotiations, Detroit Pistons restricted free agent center will meet with the Sacramento Kings at the start of free agency with the intentions of structuring a sign and trade out of Detroit. Now, on its face, I'm pretty sure Whitey coerced you to play the breaking news sounder. But if you were to read that without the graphic from Mr. Haynes, without the breaking all of this, would you consider that breaking news?
No.
Next question. How often do you see, I guess, information come out like this or posts like this? When free agent comes around, you don't hear about stuff like this.
Right.
So that's why I raised my eyebrow. Well, what's really going on here, right? You know, breaking news, and we'll get to it here, Precious Achiuwa is returning. That's breaking news in Sacramento. Maybe not throughout the NBA world, but a lot of people love Precious Achiuwa. That's something happening, right? Then, as everybody is freaking out because a lot of us don't even know what the bleep it means, then as articles start to come out, oh, he's also meeting with the Lakers. You know, this isn't necessarily a Sacramento-focused thing. Sacramento is clearly excited about adding a lob threat, a 22-year-old lob threat who's only going to get better defensively to their young point guard. So, as Jay said yesterday, that the Sacramento Kings are interested. Well, what about the other side of it? Well, we didn't really get the other side besides a sizable difference. And that's another word. What is sizable? We don't know, because all of a sudden now, as the Detroit press is getting involved and the Detroit media, it doesn't necessarily seem as sizable. I thought it was great, Jay, what you sent me. And I know you sent me a ton today because we knew Whitey was going to be out. But the idea, this is from Bobby Marks. And essentially it's laying out a friendly reminder that restricted free agents rarely switch teams.
Yeah.
And this isn't, to rain on anybody's parade. The last time a restricted free agent signed an offer sheet of $5 million or more was July 2023. Okay? That was Paul Reed. So a lot of times, it doesn't mean it's impossible, but a lot of times these restricted free agents, they stay at home. Stay home, D. Stay home. I got to do that because Whitey's out. Stay home.
JD, yeah.
That's right. Stay home, JD. So that's not to rain on anybody's parade, and it could still happen. Don't get me wrong. But the reaction yesterday, Jay, and it's our job, it's content,
Right.
we're a part of it,
Right.
just seems almost not comical, but it does seem a little bit funny now that everything is coming out. Right? Now, Detroit could be posturing. That's why we're going to talk to Omari here in about 15 minutes. But he's boots on the ground out there. And it seems like clearly, something from the camp of Jalen Duren. All right, well, we're just going to light a fire under you a little bit.
Right.
Turn the heat warmer on in the car a little bit in the middle of summer in Sacramento and see if it gets you to move, Detroit. And now it's Detroit's opportunity to counter. What an interesting time it was, Jay. The last 24 hours, 17 hours, that was something else.
I think you're spot on. And I think the first initial report, and you're right, Whitey was like, oh, man, we got to throw this out there. And I was like, okay. And then when he read what it was, if you remember, I kind of quickly allowed, well, you guys talked about it for a quick minute. And the first thing I said is, this is a Jalen Duren thing.
Yeah.
This is his camp.
Right.
I'm familiar with his agent. And I know, not saying this is how they operate, because that's not what I'm saying. But I also understand the game and the way the game is to be played, right? Mm-hmm. And so, to me, I think as we take a step back and we look at the big picture from the bird's eye view, this is a Jalen Duren pushed narrative, meaning his camp, just like we talk about Rich Paul and LeBron and his camp. To me, they're looking for more money. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Duren is saying, I need to be fed and given a little bit more money. And then we started to see numbers come out.
Right.
Around 30 to 35 is what he wanted. That lets me know what he's eligible to sign, which is the $287 million deal. Mm-hmm. They're like, no.
It's not happening.
That's not going to happen.
No.
35? That's a little rich for our blood. They may be offering 30, and maybe he wants the 35.
Right.
Sources have told us, as we've done our research, that it seems to be about $5 to $10 million off per year.
Yeah.
When it comes to Duren. That's a lot of money, big time.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
another $50 million if we're talking about a 5-year deal, which he's eligible to sign.
Yes, and the thing is, and like I said, we're going to talk to Amari about it in about 15 minutes here, but the thing is, it could be a lower annual salary, but the Pistons can still, sign for a longer period of time than outside teams. So you have all that kind of working together. And how the Kings fit into this is if he hits that number 40. So if the Kings are willing to give Jalen Duren $40 million, that might be the note where we're not sure whether or not the Pistons would pay him that.
Yeah.
If the Kings say we're willing to go that high. Now, here's the other piece of this, though. The Kings can't just do that straight up. They don't have that money. Right. So that's the sign and trade aspect. Okay, well, we're taking it back to Domantas Sabonis. And honestly, it's a great spot to be in for the Pistons, right? Because you could say, look, we might just pay him. We're okay with maybe paying him $40 million. But if we could get Domantas Sabonis, now I know Kevin O'Connor wasn't a fan, but he never has been a fan. Mm-hmm. If we can get Domantas Sabonis and 2 first-rounders, how big of a difference is that for a team that's trying to win now and Domantas Sabonis is in his prime, right? So not a typical lob threat, not a rim protector, but there are some things that he can bring to the table as a playmaker and things like that. So there are a lot of pieces at play, and a big part of it is how much do the Pistons truly like Duren, and if it does eclipse an amount that they're not comfortable with, it's 2 things. We don't know what the Pistons are truly comfortable paying Duren and what price tag they would put on it if they weren't.
Right.
If they say, well, we ain't going to pay him that, so let's just try to squeeze. Because here's the thing. We can squeeze the Kings if we want and try to get first round, whatever it is, because they have that level of control.
I'll throw the third one in there for you, and I know we're going to have a conversation about it a little bit, but it also, for me, has to see, we need to see what the Duren market is set at as well.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what the Pistons are saying. Go do the dirty work for us, which we've seen multiple times prior in all different forms and facets of sports and free agency. You believe you're worth that, then go check it out.
Yeah.
Go hit the open market, as they like to say. The problem is he can't hit the open market. He can hit the market, but the market is always still going to be dictated by what the Pistons, what you just laid out. The first and second pieces that you laid out is the Pistons still have the final call.
Yeah.
You can go say, hey, the market says that I'm a $40 million player a year. The Pistons could still say, well, not for us.
Yeah.
Now, let's start to look at some of these other pieces. Since you've said the market, the market has been dictated by you and your camp, that is $40 million a year. Well, let's see what we can do with that. And that's the toughest part about this for me as a Kings fan, because now you throw on the last bit of toppings. You hit the yogurt spot, and you look for your favorite toppings. You got your caramel, your butterscotch, you got your cookie dough, whatever you're sprinkling in there.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter likes gummy worms, which I can't stand because they get hard.
I'm out on that.
It makes no sense. But Sam Amick is also reporting that the Pistons have no interest in Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
But he didn't say they don't have no interest in Domantas Sabonis and 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying, Alan. You're spot on when you come to that, you're coming to that the end of the road. Your thoughts on the end of the road with during the Pistons and the Kings.
Last thing I'll say, because I do want to get to the precious news, the Lakers, right? Yesterday was a little bit different because I'm looking at who the Lakers have in a possible sign and trade thinking, I'm not really worried about that. What do the Pistons want with picks right now? This is their window right now. That was yesterday. This morning, LeBron says y'all can keep the $50 million.
Keep it.
I'm cool. So now all of a sudden, that changes things. That's not a sign and trade situation with the Lakers per se. That is we have $50 million in cap space and we can find a starter because LeBron is gone. So the Lakers definitely scarier today in the Jalen Duren conversation because of that cap space, much more dangerous than they initially were. So we'll get into all that. I did want to spend some time here on Precious Achiuwa. This is from Chris Haynes. This was, about an hour ago. Precious Achiuwa, the free agent, has agreed on terms to re-sign with the Sacramento Kings on a 2-year, $11.5 million deal, league sources tell me. That is from Chris Haynes. It was very apparent early on that Scott Perry was a big fan of Precious Achiuwa. And even though, Precious Achiuwa at the time was technically not employed in the NBA, Scott Perry thought, hey, I'm going to bring Precious in. And if I'm not mistaken, that all happened kind of based on Keegan and that initial injury, if I'm keeping my timing correct. So Keegan was injured, kind of in and out. Precious comes in. Domantas Sabonis at one point injured too, so they get Precious in there. And look, I'm not going to switch up now because Precious has re-signed. I was worried about not necessarily the fit, but the timeline in all of it. And and that's what I always said. Okay? Now, they essentially signed him for a little bit more than what they were going to pay Devin Carter. That changes how I view it. How this thing looks. And at the time, some of these conversations that we had, we didn't know if the Kings were going to draft a forward, right? First overall, or their first pick overall, based on where they ended up in the draft. We didn't know what the rest of the draft would look like for the Kings. And I can confidently say now that the draft is over, I know we still have some summer league free agents that the Kings picked up. I can confidently say that the Kings didn't really pick up anybody that resembles Precious Achiuwa. So it's not a matter of, Alan, you're talking about Precious being 26, 27 years old, and somebody isn't going to get playing time. There is nobody. Right? Now, how Precious, if they bring in Jalen Duren, the combination of Precious, Duren, Cardwell, and Maxime Reynaud, is it a perfect fit? I'm not sure, but I do think there is a little bit more flexibility than I guess I initially thought, and that was just based on I don't know who else the Kings are going to bring in. So it's really a no harm, no foul thing for me. I don't know what Precious Achiuwa is going to become in this league. Like I said, he ain't 30 yet. He's 26, 27 years old. So there's nothing wrong with bringing him in. I know a ton of fans, number one, love the guy. He plays his butt off. He is a dog. He wants to be on the floor. And in those moments, y'all got to help me too. Because in those moments when we were, some of us were looking at draft position, things like that, Precious is dropping 28 and all of it. against teams that, some teams were trying, some teams were also tanking. It was confusing, y'all. It was a confusing time. So good on Precious. He's back in the league. He gets a 2-year deal to the Kings, and he's going to have an opportunity to then, Jay, I would even say, right, at the age that he is, work to get another contract and maybe make even more money at whatever point in time. Because right now, I know I keep saying, let me give you the exact age. He is 26 years old. He's 26. So at the end of this contract, he's a September baby. End of this contract, he'll be 28 years old. He has 2 solid seasons in Sacramento. Yeah, maybe it's another 2-year deal. Maybe the AAV's higher. So I got all the love in the world for Precious Achiuwa. Did I initially think it all made sense for what the Kings were building? I think a lot of people say, hey, well, Precious can play the 4, Cardwell, Maxime, DeAndre Hunter, they're not sure about. The whole thing is, and the biggest part of bringing in Precious is that keeps Keegan from playing the 3. And I know, Jay, we were talking before the show, there's probably a little too much talked about when it comes to 3 and 4 and all this. It's really about what can Doug scheme up defensively that works, and offensively for that matter. But the 3-4 conversation has been a huge one with Keegan, and now I think we will get to see Keegan play a lot more 3, which might be the most important piece of this, honestly. So,
without being a humbug type person, man, shouts out to Precious for, first of all, coming from where he came from last year. Not talking about how he came in highly recruited and draft picks and stuff. I'm just talking about this was a gentleman that was out of the league for all intents and purposes.
Yep.
And found his way into the league. He signed with the Kings, and now he's sitting on some guaranteed money. So salute to you, because that gets to change you, your family, and your trajectory, hopefully, for what's, your future, Precious Achiuwa. So shouts out to you. When it comes to the basketball term, for me, this is just a prototypical NBA signing of a rotational piece, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to bring nothing down, because I want Kings fans to understand, just as you said, he's got a lot of fans, and that's great. And I also say giving him shots out for playing his way to this position, that's even more fantastic. For me, until I see something that's proven or something that's greater than, it's a back-end and rotational piece for me.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect to the move. It's no disrespect to Precious. It's just at this point, when you're looking at for high-level basketball players, the Kings feel that he is a high-level rotational piece, hence why they signed him. And so that's the way I'm going to take it. Again, congratulations to everybody that's involved, and we'll see what that means for movement, and hopefully Precious outplays his contract, and then we can salute him even more. But for me, I'm not going to jump around and act like we signed LeBron James. I'm going to say this is a solid, nice NBA rotational piece move. Some nights, and I'll explain that, some nights he's going to start when somebody's hurt.
Yeah.
Some nights he's going to get 2 points, and he's going to do a lot of dirty work you don't see on the box score. Some nights he might give you a 19.
Yeah.
It's like, man, Precious those 3 times that year showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
That's what rotational pieces do. 7, 8, 9, 10th man. If he's starting 50 or 60 games, for me, that's an issue.
Yeah.
But if he's just 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th man, going to elbow somebody in the stomach, set some nice screens that some of our guys that are starting, a la Keegan, doesn't do, right? Shouts out to Brendan, who will be joining us at 3 o'clock, who said that today. And I was like, you're absolutely right. He sets no screens for the most part. These are the things that I'm looking for a rotational piece. You come in, you act like Windex, which means you grab some balls off the glass, and you do the dirty work. Like you said, he's a dog. That's what I'm looking for. So shouts out to Precious, getting his coin. Shouts out to the Kings, recognizing that he can bring something to the team. And I expect to see him in the rotation at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 some nights.
Yeah, and I think that's well said. And the other part of this is, just trying to be consistent with everything. I don't know what to make of anything we watched last season. That's why some people were coming down the road of Maxime Ray, no. and some of these guys that were in these tanking situations. So that's why I just want to watch Precious in hopefully more of a winning atmosphere and see what it looks like. Because as D'Angelo Russell said it best, that free basketball is fun.
Wait a minute. Are you quoting D'Angelo Russell?
He said, I'm so glad to be back in Brooklyn playing free basketball. Wow. And that's what it was last season. So I want to see these guys with some real stakes on the table, Jay. Some real stakes on the line. When we return, Omari Sankofa II joins us, like I said, from the Detroit Free Press, breaking down everything that he's been hearing out there in Detroit about Jalen Duren and the Kings. More Drive Guys. Don't move.
After 2 seasons in Sacramento, the Kings have traded guard Devin Carter to the Atlanta Hawks. With other potential trade assets on the roster, could more offseason moves be coming from Scott Perry and the front office?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
You can buy golf clubs anywhere, but buy clubs that fit the shelf instead of your swing. That's why Hagen Oaks offers total game fitting. TrackMan dials in your driver and irons. Ping's Bolemic Ball Fitter finds your perfect golf ball. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And FootJoy's 3D foot scanner matches you with balance and stability. Whether you're a beginner or accomplished, your best game starts with the right fit. Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Better fit, more fun. Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Skeeter here, my card. Field Tech, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District. I never met a Culex terrasalis I didn't want to smack. That's Latin for mosquito. Hey, it's time again to fight the bite. Time to protect yourself from West Nile virus by applying insect repellent. Once a week, drain stagnant water and report dirty green swimming pools. Ew. They're breeding grounds.
The Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you it's time to fight the bite.
My card never gets old.
For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg that the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure though, because now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave.
What's up? It's Matt George.
What's good?
It's Alan Styles.
With the most trusted voices in the community.
This is Jason Ross.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson.
It's Whitey Gleason. Ready to help promote your business, both as partners and customers. All you have to do is ask. Pick up the phone, dial pound 250 and say, grow my business to get connected with a team member today. That's pound 250 and say, grow my business. Our team will review your product, quickly pair you with a perfect endorser, and create video and audio samples, all at no cost or obligation to you. With the most live and local on-air lineup, a dynamic content-driven website, and a state-of-the-art mobile app, Sactown Sports 1140 is tailor-made to help you connect with a sports audience in Sacramento. So why wait? Dial pound 250 today. Say, grow my business, and let us help take you to the next level.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
We are back, taking you up to 6 p.m. And oh my goodness, I mean, we're 30 minutes away, and that's what's so funny. You know, you have obviously, oh, so-and-so intends to do this or doesn't intend to do that. Then it's 3 p.m. Then you put pen to paper in a couple days now. So all these rumors swirling around. We're hanging out, enjoying our show yesterday, and we find out Jalen Duren wants to be on the Kings. Okay, we don't know what that means. So we decide we got to be joined by Omari Sankofa II from the Detroit Free Press to help us break it all down. Omari, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So let's start here, and I'm just going to keep it real simple because, you know, you're out here in Sacramento, smaller market, and you hear that this stud, all-star, 22-year-old center wants to come to the Sacramento Kings. We weren't paying attention, Omari, to the other side of it, just the fact that he wanted to be in Sacramento. So let me start the question here. How much does Jalen Duren wanting to come to the Kings, how much does that matter in any of the conversations that are happening right now that you had over the last 24 hours? How much does that even really matter?
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons have been pretty transparent, from the start of this process that they want Jalen Duren back. Of course, the report that Duren wanted to go to Sacramento. Duren being a restricted free agent doesn't have too many avenues to generate outside interest and leverage. So we'll see how this works out. And the Kings obviously have interest. They have some guys that could be available in a trade. But the bottom line for the Pistons is that they want Jalen Duren back next season. So that hasn't changed at all.
Big O, one of the things that we've talked about over the last 24 hours is this kind of Jalen Duren's camp from your standpoint, as much as you know, really kind of saying, listen, we didn't like that first offer or the second offer. We don't like the money. And, kind of like a spoiled brat, a little kid. I want a little more. Please show me a little more love.
Yeah, well, I think they're definitely doing what they can to drum up more interest. Whatever the offer is for the Pistons, I think the reporting has been pretty consistent from last summer that it's not quite what they want. And then keep in mind, he made All-NBA, so he's eligible for what they call the Supermax, right? And he's not going to get that, but he could still get around $44 million a year max from the Kings. If there's interest from an outside team, maybe the Pistons come up a little bit. We'll see. But they're doing everything they can to show that his market's a bit higher than the Pistons think it is.
Talking to Omari Sankofa II from the Detroit Free Press. So help us out here, Omari, because it's restricted free agency is one thing, right? If the Lakers say right now, we want to give Jalen Duren, and I know there's a limit to how much they can give him, but if the Lakers say we want to give Jalen Duren $40 million a year, right? And the Pistons say, man, we don't want to give him that, and we're not gonna continue to go back and forth with him. That's one thing, right? As far as the Kings are concerned, they don't have that cap space, so they have this sign and trade. So in both situations, and now the Pistons can say, well, give us some picks, even though we might not love Domantas Sabonis, give us some picks. So between the Lakers and the Kings, in your opinion, who's in a better spot?
Yeah, I think the Lakers are in a better spot simply because they can just offer the money, right? And then for the Pistons, it's as simple as, do we match or do we figure something else out? Do you decline to just let them walk, or do you say we'll match unless you sign and trade? But it's just less that the Lakers have to do to get to that point since they have the money. For the Kings, like you said, they don't have the money, so it would have to be a sign and trade framework. So either you're offering the Pistons something that makes them interested, or there's really no conversation to be had because there's really no reason for them to have signing trade negotiations with a team that's not offering them anything. So the Lakers are in a better position for sure.
Amari, from our standpoint outside looking in, can you answer, the Pistons are in win now mode, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I think they won 60 games. They want to make it past the second round of the playoffs. So absolutely, they're trying to win games.
So then my second point behind that is we've heard whispers, throughout the NBA circles here and there that the Pistons could be looking for someone in the front court. We've even heard the name Domantas Sabonis thrown around. I know you might not know all the answers, but just on the inside, because you got boots on the ground, is Domantas Sabonis even someone that the Pistons even are readily looking at or would look at, even if we were to remove the Jalen Duren conversation?
No, they just won 60 games with Duren. That's Kay Cunningham's guy. Their offense is built around those two guys. So I think they came into the offseason with the expectation that eventually you do re-sign Duren, then that's your starting center. I don't think they came into the offseason looking at other centers.
Talking to Omari Sankofa II of the Detroit Free Press. Now, I don't know if we actually saw anything about this, Omari, but you got to level with us here, man, because there's some bad contracts out here. So anytime anyone's interested and there's some money involved, we try to make some moves. Have you heard anything about maybe, towards the end of the season for the Pistons, Cade needed some offensive help? Have you heard anything about maybe some Zach LaVine interest? I mean, Omari, one whisper, we got anything?
So what's funny is that I think a couple of years ago, there was some interest in the Pistons front office. Not everybody in the front office, but there were people in the front office who were interested in a LaVine deal. And this was before the current GM got there. This was before JB got there. This was the previous regime, and obviously that ended up not happening. This regime, I haven't heard as much LaVine interest, but they want a player of LaVine's caliber. I think financially, I don't know if it works out with him making, I think, around $49 billion next season, but they absolutely want players who could do what he does. So whether the money works, I think, is a different conversation.
Big O, is there, just give me a percentage, a piece of the pie, big time. You guys got that good piece up in Detroit. What's the piece of the pie, the percentage that Jalen Duren leaves the Pistons right now from your standpoint?
I think it's like 10%. Wow. I think it would take a really substantial offer for the Pistons to even want to think about it. But it's restricted free agency. I mean, they have leverage. At the end of the day, Duren has to do something to demonstrate that, there's a bigger market for him, where a team has to demonstrate that they're really willing to give up something that the Pistons can't say no to. But they've been pretty consistent. They want to bring him back. Duren's options, if he doesn't accept whatever the final offer is obviously to take the QO, the qualifying offer, but that still brings him back next season. So unless something unexpected happens, I think he's back.
The more I think about it, and I wonder if we're entering a new landscape, talking to Omari Sankofa II of the Detroit Free Press, because Omari, it's one of these things where off the top of your head, you talk about, hey, this is disrespectful. We all want to get our coin. We all want to get paid. For you to be eligible for a max or a super max, and for a team to say, yeah, we're just not giving it to you, though, does it feel like maybe Jalen Duren is saying, man, all these, all you're supposed to do is hit X, Y, or Z and get these accolades, and normally you get paid that. But with, these aprons and all the other luxury tax questions that are going on right now, it feels like we're entering a new landscape. Does Jalen Duren maybe feel as if he is in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into it. He did want to bet on himself last offseason, and there's a good chance that even if it falls short of the max, it's still more than he would have gotten last year. And I think that's just the risk with restricted free agency, and that's just how the CBA is set up now, is that it gives teams tools to keep their own players. So We've seen a few guys, Quentin Grimes, for example, he picked up his qualifying offer and now he's an unrestricted free agent. Like, we've seen guys get to that point to where they're like, I'd rather just pick my own path and take that risk. I don't think the Pistons are at that point. I don't think Duran's at the point of regret, but there is a bit of a stare down happening. So I think we're just going to have to see how this evolves because negotiations could always get a little bit messy when it gets to this point.
Omari Sankofa II, Detroit Free Press. Omari, thank you so much for joining us, man. I know you are very, very busy. We got about 20 minutes here before free agency. All those conversations really start humming. We appreciate you, man. Go check out Omari at the Detroit Free Press and follow him on X. We'll talk to you soon, Omari. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great stuff from Omari Sankofa II of the Detroit Free Press. And the bottom line is this. When you cut this, when our digital boys say, hey, what are we taking from this interview? 10%. That's what I'm taking from the interview. 1, 10%. And 2, the Lakers are now in a great position with LeBron's decision. Speaking of LeBron's decision, where's he going? Come back, come home, LeBron, where it all started. More Drive Guys coming up.
Zach LaVine has opted into his $49 million player option with the Kings. Will the high-priced guard be locked in next to Darius Acuff Jr.? Or should the veteran's minutes be reduced to make way for the new young talent?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings return to Golden One Center this weekend for the California Classic presented by Ticketmaster. Come see top NBA draft picks from the Kings, Warriors, Bucks, and Nets go head-to-head across 6 games on July 4th, 5th, and 6th. California Classic tickets are just $21 or save 30% with a 3-day pass and secure a seat to all 6 games for only $50. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more, enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra, the California Office of Traffic Safety, and Caltrans. More info at CITPFest.com.
That's the sound of savings happening right now at Elk Grove Honda. You remember, right? Elk Grove Hondas are still cheap. And right now you'll find a good deal more on new Honda gas and hybrid Accords, Civics, CRVs, and more fuel-efficient Elk Grove Hondas. Every sale is done right here, under the flag in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Come see why generations of families return again and again to Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall because Elk Grove Hondas are cheap.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Thank you to Omari Sankofa II of the Detroit Free Press. Man, I mean, I know we're thanking him. There might be a lot of Kings fans that weren't thrilled with what he had to say, a little dose of reality. And Jay, you sent me something during the break as well. And yeah, just the idea of it happening. Now, look, anything can happen, okay? Anything can happen, but it doesn't feel as imminent, right? Things just, they catch fire so quickly. So we'll see what ends up happening. This is what Bobby Marks had to say. I think even if a team put a max offer sheet down, that's the price of doing business, okay? He confirmed the Pistons would match any offer sheet Jalen Duren will be given. So then it turns into the Kings, $40 million, 2 first-rounders, and it just becomes, I know Scott Perry, we'll get into what Scott Perry had to say on these airwaves on the morning show. Hey, sometimes you got to take big swings, but it gets into a conversation where, hey, man, that might just not be a good deal. And I don't think Scott Perry is in the business of doing bad deals.
Doesn't seem like it. And the ones that I guess the ones that we could call bad deals, like Dennis Schroeder, people would say that was a terrible deal.
Yeah.
He corrected it very fast. He's like, yeah, this ain't it. We got to move on, right? The toughest part, and you said it, Alan, for me is, and this is why I'm always in your ear. I'm always in you and Whitey's ear. I'm always hesitant to jump on stuff, is because this is how social network works, right? And so you're like, come on, Jay, come on. And I'm always the first one to come in and be like, Al, bro, just relax. You know what I mean? And I know part of it is we're just reacting, and that's part of the show. And I know you're not believing everything.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, it's the wording. When Chris Haynes put it out, I said, oh, the wording's not right. You could see it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And you could see the fact of the matter was we're being used as leverage.
Yeah.
We're being used as leverage. And that's why we started to connect the dots. Well, Scott Perry's got some Detroit connections, and, but the agent of who Jalen Duren is, and Wasserman, and all these different things that are being shared. And so you start to peel back the onion a little bit, and you're like, but let me say this first. You never say never.
Right.
It can always happen.
He said 10%.
10%.
10%.
I mean, there's an opportunity, right? But to me, it's okay, we like it. We understand that you would want to play here if you don't play in Detroit. Because this the other thing, before I move on, we have not heard once from anyone that's tied to the NBA, the Pistons, an insider. No one's come out and say Jalen Duren doesn't want to play in Detroit. Have you heard that from anyone yet?
No.
It's he doesn't like what they offered him.
Right.
That's what we've been hearing.
Yeah.
Through the tea leaves. Well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to set my market. And once my market is set, as we've talked about, Detroit has an opportunity. And if it's too rich for Detroit's blood, then we can start to have some conversations. Now, if the Kings want to say, we want to sign to that $44 million a year, we'll sign the offer sheet. And hopefully the Pistons say no. But ain't nobody letting all league 22-year-old all-star walk away for nothing.
No.
You're going to have to pay it like you weigh it. So even if you want to send Domas or Zach over here, you better believe you coughing up a couple first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation that we would have to enter.
Yeah, and I guess the other piece of this is where Duren is right now. The Pistons, it feels like they're comfortable with these conversations. That's what Bobby Marks said. This is the price of doing business, right? You negotiate a contract, things get a little bit sticky for a second, and you figure it out later. The other thing, Jay, we haven't heard two things. We haven't heard that Duren wants out of Detroit. We also have not heard since Sam's initial article that this is, if you want that 10% to seem real, now maybe it doesn't get out, but the 10% seems more real if we hear from Sam or from Chris Haynes or from anybody, the Detroit Pistons do envision a future with Domantas Sabonis.
Yes.
And you can throw Zach LaVine in there too.
Yep.
But that's where Sam ended it. We don't know how the Pistons feel. So they've had these conversations. Probably we're having them during our show yesterday and past that up until this morning. and they're making a decision. We don't know that. If it comes out that the Pistons actually see it as a good fit,
Wait, hold on. And what, meaning Domantas Sabonis or Zach LaVine?
One of them.
Well,
if they
Sam said he did report that yesterday, remember? He said the Pistons are not interested in Domantas Sabonis.
I thought he said it remains to be seen.
No. He said, let's make sure we get the proper wordage. But let's see here.
Maybe there was an update throughout the day.
Might have been. But I could have swore while we were on air yesterday, he said the Pistons don't seem to be interested in the Domantas Sabonis' services. Not like that, but I'm just saying.
I thought it was more they weren't interested in necessarily trading, because that's what I thought. We hadn't heard that yet.
We could definitely check on it. Here, let's see. Let's make sure we on the up and up, though. You know?
Oh, I know.
That boy. what you know, man? You know?
I'm telling you. 916 is talking, saying this sounds like 2018 with Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
And the Bulls matched. Mm-hmm. And the Bulls matched. A whole lot of hype, but eventual letdown.
But I think that was a little different in the form of there was interest by both parties. Mm-hmm. And there were definitely interest in the fact that Zach LaVine wanted to come here. Now, at that time, he wasn't an all-league. He wasn't off an all-star bid. You know, there was a little different positioning for Zach LaVine.
Right.
We're talking about a young fella that's 22 years old that's all everything right now. And so he's like, just what Amari Sankofi just said, who joined us from the Detroit Free Press. He's saying, listen, I bet on myself last year and didn't re-up on that rookie deal. Mm-hmm. Now I should get what I'm worth, what I look around the league and see everybody else getting that is in the position that I'm in. So it's a little different because he's saying, I did everything you guys asked me. Mm-hmm. Where Zach LaVine was kind of like, well, he's a little he's a hit and miss right now for the Bulls. The Bulls weren't actually 100% leaning in on him.
This was at 3:34, Jay.
All right, here we go.
Per league sources, this is from Sam Amick, the most likely scenario here would include the Kings forward Domantas Sabonis heading to Detroit. The key question now is how the Pistons see the situation in light of the gap between them and Duren and the chance to get a 3-time All-Star in return. And then Sam goes on to say, to add on here, I'm told that Jalen Duren very much wants to play in Sacramento, and the Kings' big man, Domantas Sabonis, is likewise interested in the prospect of landing with the Pistons. So, yeah, I'm still, I didn't recall seeing that the Pistons were out on Sabonis. I thought we didn't know. We did not know.
All right, we got to dive back. He might have corrected a few. He might have freaked a few of them tweets because I could have swore yesterday on top of one of those, he came out and said that they aren't that interested in Domantas Sabonis.
Yes. One thing we know is that they're not interested in trading Duren, which is probably the larger conversation. But this is why I brought it up though, Jay. If you are the Pistons, right? You let him walk. Are you more comfortable? Because Omari had said that the Lakers were in a better spot, right? So if you let him walk, or if you're the Pistons, are you more comfortable letting Jalen Duren walk and then grabbing somebody in free agency, or going back and forth with the Kings, getting a center back and draft capital? Because that's why it was interesting to me that the Lakers are in a better spot as far as they don't have to give up any picks, obviously. But from the Pistons side of things, just like you said, would you rather lose Jalen Duren for nothing to the Lakers and you feel confident that you can grab whoever in free agency? And I know you can do weird sign and trade things with the Lakers as well. Or would you just go with the Kings and say, hey, well, we're getting Sabonis and draft capital?
Well, I'd say this. I think we all have been confirmed by so many different people, and again, bringing up Amari, the Pistons ain't letting Jalen Duren walk for nothing.
It doesn't seem like it.
They'll re-sign him even for the money that they don't want to.
Yeah.
They'll pay him.
Yes.
And then they'll figure out from moving on from there. So I think that's out. I completely think that the Pistons aren't going to let an all-NBA guy, all-star, 22-year-old star, to them and many people, walk away for nothing.
Right.
You don't handle and you don't put together a top quality team by letting all league guys walk away for anything.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. That's when it turns into, okay, well, even though the Lakers have cap space, would there still be some type of sign and trade?
I would imagine.
So the Pistons don't lose anything. I don't know if it's Jackson Hayes.
yeah, who knows?
Because
right?
I know, I know Ayton he just signed.
For $8 million.
So I don't know if it's still open, so they could move Ayton. But they don't. If you're the Pistons, what the hell you want with DeAndre Ayton?
You don't, but
even if that's legal, even if it's legal.
I mean, I guess the only question would be, the only thing from the Lakers standpoint that would probably, and I don't think you can even happen because they just re-signed him, would be Austin Reeves, right? He couldn't re-sign until be moved to January. So the fact of the matter is the money is pretty close to Austin Reeves and what Durham would probably sign for. There was some interest from the Pistons saying that, I saw some whispers that they were interested in Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
I guess that would make sense, but I just think, using common sense, the Pistons aren't going to allow Jalen Duren to sign to the Lakers any type of offer sheet and don't match it.
Right.
So I think that's out. For me, the Lakers, and that's why I said when you really take a step back and look at this, Allen, this is all about positioning.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers don't have nothing that the Pistons technically will want unless it's Luka, right? Everything else on the roster makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because now Rui's walked away. So what else could you possibly give me? They only have 2 more first-round draft picks to send that way. Mm-hmm. So you're saying Jalen Duren's only going to bring back 2 first-round draft picks? Please, we got 35-year-old Kawhi bringing them back.
Yeah.
I'm going to need 4. Desmond Bain, you know what I mean? So that's why I said I get the report, and Chris Haynes has to put the report out because he's been told that. But when you look at the verbiage and the wordage, it was like, this was a hoax, man.
Yeah.
This was Jalen Duren's camp getting some money. Now, if it chooses to go with the Kings or they choose to go with the Heat or whoever you want to put, insert team, and now you can say, well, the Pistons are interested in said player and picks, then my ears start to percolate.
Yeah.
I haven't heard one person yet say they like Domantas Sabonis.
Yes.
They like Zach LaVine.
Right.
When someone says that, then we'll start to have a conversation, not what Jalen Duren's camp is talking about. That's what we heard. Jalen Duren's camp said he would love to play in Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's why I said, come on, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real.
I'm not going to make a joke, but a lot of people at this point would make a joke. You know what? Hey, breaking news. I'm not me. I'm happily married, but I'm interested in enter celebrity here. And whatever celebrity you want to put there, there's interest on one side. You got to see if the interest comes back the other way. That's what it is. Brendan Nunez joins us on the other side, continuing to break down. It's 3 o'clock on the dot, and free agency is getting hot. Brendan Nunez about to join us on The Drive, guys. Don't move. Sactown Sports.
NBA free agency is here. Stay locked into Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com for the latest insight on the Sacramento Kings and around the league.
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. Plus, get a free base with select mattress purchases. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life's sleep.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music.
Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The Screening Gold Injury Report is brought to you by the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. If you've got an injury, just call Gingery. Zach Geloff has been placed on the 10-day IL with a right hand contusion. Mark Leiter's begun throwing on Monday after recovering from a hip injury, and Denzel Clark has started to play catch and a swinging progression while still on the 60-day IL. Luis Severino has been transferred from the 15-day IL to the 60-day IL.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer, and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 6 p.m. Joined by Brendan Nunes as it's it's 3:03, Brendan. So I guess that, we better start refreshing, making sure the Wi-Fi is all set right now. And I think I just saw something. I'm not even playing around here, but I think I just saw something. What was that? Mark J. Spears?
Yeah, he said the Detroit Pistons are offered what the franchise believes is the most lucrative contract possible for their all-star restricted free agent, Jalen Duren. They are not interested in any sign and trade deals and will match any potential offer sheet he signs. Sources, ESPN and Anscape. As we said, the game is to be told, not to be sold, gentlemen. Jalen Duren's camp came out and said, hey, we're going to test the market, and this is what we believe what he's worth. And then now the Pistons say, okay, that's fine. We'll let you rock for a day. We'll let you get your, do you. Let the Kings tell you what you're worth and the Lakers. But when it's all said and done, we're going to match whatever we want to do.
Wow.
You could see it a mile away.
So here's the thing. And here, just for fun, I have this person. This just popped up on my feed, okay? And they quote tweeted Sam Amick. It's over. It's not over, but it seems like it's heading that way. And this is from Ari Wagner. They say, I still want Jalen Duren in Detroit, but if he's leaving, there's only one acceptable pivot. Keegan Murray plus unprotected, or I think multiple unprotected firsts. That's what they wanted. All right? And then using 2 more picks to go get Trey Murphy. So that's what they were trying to cook up in Detroit. Brendan, what were your thoughts while we can still talk about it until it seems like any minute now the Pistons are going to say, hey, this thing is donezo. But what were your initial thoughts on Jalen Duren, how aggressive you were willing to get, how much you were willing to pay him to get him on the Kings, and what you were willing to give up from a draft asset perspective?
Yeah, I think one of the funny things a little bit,
Yeah, I think one of the funny things a little bit, just first on the Spears reporting, is what's up with the most lucrative contract possible? Does that mean Supermax? Because wouldn't you just say Supermax? I feel like that's funky wording.
It definitely doesn't mean Supermax.
I don't think so either. To Jay's point earlier, like all the wording and all this stuff matters a lot and is very telling, so that's a little bit of a weird one for me. But I think it's a conversation that the Kings are smart to get themselves involved in. It was going to be hard to pull off because you really have to sell them on, hey, you want Domas? It has to be a sign-in trade. I think that's why Amari that you guys just had on that covers the Pistons. I think it's for Detroit Free Press was talking about the Lakers being easier because they can just straight up sign him, and not have to convince Detroit of, hey, well, do you like this deal? You like that deal? And Domas is a hard sell, as we've realized for a lot of these teams. I believe that Keegan becomes essentially trade eligible on the 1st because that's the start of the new fiscal year, and he would be starting his new contract. It's no longer like poison pill, which is obviously tomorrow. So it's one of those where maybe this is flawed logic, but I wouldn't hate paying Duren the $50 a year, to be honest, because it is like admitting that it is an overpay. I think that's one of those things that a bad team can do. And maybe bad is the wrong way to put it, like a team earlier in their process, because that would be a phenomenal pick and roll partner for Darius Acuff, right? And make his life a lot easier. Not that Domas doesn't already do that, but I think that we saw Duren being on another level with that stuff. I believe if it still ended the season this way, that the most ran play in the league last year was a Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren pick and roll. That was their offense all day long, and you could do the same thing with Darius Acuff. You have him on a rookie deal still to where I think it would line up if you did the 5-year deal that Acuff wouldn't be getting paid his contract until Duren's on the final year of his deal. And maybe if you need to reroute him at that point, he's expiring, whatever it may be. I think it's smart for the Kings to get in on this conversation, but it was always going to be really hard to pull off. The 2 first-round picks thing is where I'm like, okay, what picks are we talking? Yeah. Right? How do we feel about the Minnesota pick? I think that could be pretty valuable, the 2031 Minnesota pick that they own. That could be part of the deal if you'd rather part with that than some of your own firsts. 2 firsts is a little sweet for me if we're doing 2 unprotected firsts, right? Can we do 1 pick and a swap? Or certainly I'm not doing picks the next year. Like if we're talking about 2032 pick, sure. That I'm on the conversation, but I think it's the right sort of thing for the Kings to be involving themselves with, even knowing it was probably going to be a long shot.
And I'm people are bringing up, hey, good on Scott Perry for, putting themselves in the situation, whether it works or not, and all this. And that's where I want to take it. Are you, these types of conversations coming up, does this make you feel good or better about Scott Perry and him at the helm? Is it being maybe overblown? And I mean, we know he's really good with the media. Essentially, any conversation that they're having, it seems like a lot of it's getting out, and it's not a matter of, hey, why is this coming out and this not? It feels like that's kind of the bag right now. That's how they do business. They want people to know we out here. We out here attempted to make moves. So in a situation like this, like I'm seeing Matt George, Duren to Sac was always a long shot. Still appreciate Scott Perry for getting involved and exploring possibilities. How much, I guess, credit, maybe it's a low bar, but how much credit?
It is a low bar.
Because, when we were talking, we were talking to Matt about it, and the whole idea that Monty was another guy who, hey, I'm talking, I'm making calls.
They were in all the rumors still.
Right.
OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, they were in all the rumors still. So I think the biggest thing is that Scott clearly has some pull. I think that he's well respected around the league. He's got great, a big Rolodex of people that he knows, different organizations. I think people are going to pick up his phone call and be respectful and take the time to have those conversations. So sure, some credit deserved there. It's also just doing your job. I'll give him credit when he pulls the things off.
Yeah.
As of right now, the Dennis Schroeder deal didn't look very good. As Jay mentioned earlier, I love that you admit your mistake and correct that very quickly. I think that's a sign of something that you like to see from people of, hey, I'm not going to hold on to this guy just because it was my decision and I need to make sure that I was proven correct. No, we messed up. We're going to move on from that, and didn't really end up harming you in the long term, right? Curious to see where Keon Ellis is going to land, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
That'll be interesting. in this entire conversation. How much money is he actually going to get? We get to revisit that. Jonathan Kuminga, all the old conversations are coming back around,
Hey,
Alan.
just all go to Chicago.
We're
all
bringing
y'all
it
just
all
go to the
back.
Bulls. Just go to the Bulls.
Why not? Why not? I would love Keon to land in Denver. I know Denver was a team that was calling around a little bit when they were doing some trades for the Kings. And I think, him landing with some sort of guy that is a superstar that is running the show through everything. I mean, Cleveland made a lot of sense with James Harden being that guy. It didn't work out great. Unfortunately, if he was just a little bit taller, he'd be a little stronger.
Story of our life, you know?
Yeah. Couldn't be me. I do all right, Alan.
No, I mean the collective
story
hour
of your life.
No, if you want to separate,
You're
that's
speaking
no,
French
we
now
don't want
over
you.
here.
We
There's
don't
no
want
we.
you. No, we don't want you then. We don't want you.
No, but credit to, it's cool that Scott's involved in these conversations, but honestly, a lot of it for me is, well, this is the job, and he's doing his job, and until things are really executed, that's when I'll give him a little bit of flowers. But, it might be a little bit of, what do they say, glaze going on right now?
A little bit. Little bit. And
a lot of bit.
Yeah, and I understand it. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I'm looking at what Mark J. Spears said, and people are having some fun with the language, the possible, is this Claude or ChatGPT? Just hey, can you make this sound like a max but not a max? The most lucrative contract possible for their all-star restricted free agent Jalen Duren. Obviously, and Jay, I have a feeling what you're going to say on this, but Jalen Duren is still going to meet with the Kings and the Lakers, right? Even though now you would assume the Pistons, their camp, have put this out on, as far as where they're at in the conversation. But Duren's still going to meet with the Kings and the Lakers, right? That doesn't.
I would think so.
Yeah, that
might be going on right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yes, but this stuff is getting out, and he might be getting a call while in the meeting with the Kings. Hey, they're going to give us the 37. They're going to give us the 40. So the whole thing is pretty funny, man. What did you think about Precious, Brendan? The Precious signing.
It's cool. He doesn't do that much for me, to be honest. I think Precious, I really enjoyed interacting with Precious last year. I think that he seems like a very good locker room guy. He's got great perspective on the league. A guy that defensive versatility is nice, because right now it's like, okay, well, who's their third string center, for example? Yeah. And maybe that answer is Precious Achiuwa, being able to play that in a role sometimes. He gives you some optionality of, hey, we want to go small ball a little bit right here. Not really spacing the floor very much, can put the ball in his hands a little bit and allow him to make decisions. So I think an okay depth piece. It's a very cheap price. And so, yeah, you gotta fill in the holes and make sure that you got depth in your front court. So to me, that's kind of mainly what it is. I don't think I'm quite as excited as a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, solid guy to keep around. Again, it seemed like he was good for Max last year and some of these other guys. I thought the perspective he provided, and you get an insight into his relationship with some of these younger players when he hopped on that Young Man in the 3 podcast. I thought that was really good. But yeah, I mean, solid depth piece to bring around, but not really changing anything for me in my mind. A different little random news here for you. Switching sports a tiny bit. Shohei apparently not going to be pitching on Wednesday.
Oh, that's rough.
That's a bummer. I was going to be out there. Yeah.
Dang,
what do you say? Why?
Yeah, is he playing?
Not that I see. The Dodgers announced today is all this tweet that I saw.
Dang,
unfortunate.
Right. Sorry I know some of you out there cashed out. Well, actually, from the pictures, looked like most of you were Dodger fans. So bleep you. I don't care. I don't care.
I was out there yesterday, and that was a full Dodger crowd. Like, you're walking in, I'm like, it is all blue. We're getting Freddie chants every time he walks up. We're getting the Mook for Mookie every time.
Took over.
During the 7th inning stretch, singing the song, and they said Dodgers real loud.
Dang.
Honestly, kind of cool, though.
That's a tough. I hear you.
I'm just saying, it was a good atmosphere out there.
Yeah, I bet.
It's kind of tough. Man, this is the tough thing about sports, and it kind of frustrates you as a fan. What do you do now? Like, if you bought those tickets, part of the reason I'm going out there to rock with Shohei versus the Dodgers, right? Now you're not stuck because you still can go to the game, but man, you don't get to see Shohei.
You're just stuck. I mean, you are stuck. You can put them on, see if somebody didn't pay attention.
Hey, you still hit a bomb last night.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's still playing.
Right.
I just don't think for whatever reason he's pitching. So there you have it. Someone says from the 530, So you're saying Scott Perry is just spinning his wheels, wasting his time? No, I don't think that at all. I mean, these are specific situations that, they're not easy. We read the Bobby Marks numbers, these offer sheets. It can be tough, but Scott Perry has a type of player that he is interested in, and he is going to do whatever he can to try to acquire those type of players, even if it's restricted free agency or whatever it is. And at the same time, he was trying to, do two things at once and move on from Domantas Sabonis and add back a young stud. That's pretty much it.
And, you're kind of, in a way, doing a favor to an agency. To Jay's point, this probably is just a lot of leverage, but he's a Wasserman guy. And so whether that comes back around to some of his other clients, it's just maintaining relationships, right? It's the same way where they're going to meet with A.J. Debonsa, even though they're not drafting A.J. Debonsa. You never know what's going to come up down in the future. Talking about Perry having good relationships with people, this is partially how you do that. I'm going to take my excuse and my opportunity to get to know Jalen Duren a little bit more. And what if 2-3 years from now he becomes available? And, hey, well, they really liked me before. I liked the conversation I had with them a few years ago, and that could circle back around. Tari Eason has the same agent as Jalen Duren.
Shafi Fields.
He's a free agent, Could that be a conversation? I don't think the Kings have really financial flexibility in order to do something like that, but that's why these things matter, right? Even if you're not going to land that guy, this is how Scott Perry has built the Rolodex and relationships that he has up to this point. And so while it may seem like a waste of time because is anything actually going to happen through a Jalen Duren deal right now? No, probably not. Right? It seems like that's probably not going to be the case, and he'll end up back with the Pistons, but the stuff does matter and comes back later down the line.
Yeah. And by the way, as far as the Kings that are on the roster, new picks just dropped of the rookies in their jerseys. You can see Acuff and Alex Caravan, obviously Emmanuel Sharp as well. So those are circulating around. I know a lot of fans are excited about that. And that's where I want to take this, because there are a lot of fans that we're minding our own business, getting ready for a free agency that we don't expect a lot to happen. At least I didn't, besides more departures than arrivals. And you get thrown into this situation. You get teased by some interesting wording from some reporters and analysts. And now all of a sudden you go from enjoying your, the beginning of your free agency to feeling let down and feeling used, because the Kings were in conversations with Jalen Duren, who, man, he wanted to come to Sacramento so bad, but the Pistons won't let him go to Sacramento, when it was probably never really that. So I just
he wants to get paid.
He wants to get paid. He wants to get paid.
From anyone.
Hey,
from anyone.
But that's what I'm saying. If Jay, they need to come out, and next time Chris Haynes or whoever, they come through with one of those, I need to hear Jalen Duren would love to come to Sacramento. He loves Tiger. Jalen Duren would love to come to Sacramento. He loves fixins. Yeah. He loves urban roots. I need to know. Tell me that he actually wants to be in Sacramento, because besides that, it's just seeing dollar signs. That's all it is.
That's all it is. LeBron doesn't care about money next place he goes. Everybody else cares about money in the league.
Exactly.
LeBron is set. Everybody else, just be real with yourselves. Why would he want to come to Sacramento? Basketball reasons, right? It is a better basketball situation in Detroit. No questions asked. Mm-hmm. We're talking about, you get to run a pick and roll. You get to do more. Is this Cason Wallace talking about, hey, I want more opportunity? No, you got all the opportunity in the world. He was an all-NBA player last year. The reason you'd be interested in Sacramento is they would be willing to pay him, assumedly. That's where this is going. How about free agency, man? I remember last year, years prior, sitting there being like, all right, 3 p.m. hits. I got to make sure I got my notes ready because all these deals are going to be completed. I haven't seen a single thing.
No, man.
What's going on?
I've been refreshing. I don't know what's
already done. You can't get Marcus Smart or something, lock in Marcus Smart going to Houston.
You know why, man? And part of it is, and we said this, I know you were over doing your 1-2 step first hour of the show, but a lot of the young people are locked up. You're locking up young players and stars as quick as possible nowadays.
Pre-agency.
Yeah, you have to, because the CBA, the apron, and all this other stuff now. And that's the thing about the Pistons. The Pistons are just saying, look, we offered whatever, reports are they're about $10 million apart, Jalen Duren and the Pistons, which basically means they want to probably pay him about $45 million. He wants the starting $287 that starts around $54, $55. But as we consistently keep hearing, that's the price of business. They just want to be proven, well, I guess you can go get that $50 million, that 44 or whatever. So we'll match you and pay that. But that's the point. And I asked this to Alan earlier, Brendan, is we're hearing about all the OG stars moving, the Kawhis, the Giannis, the LeBrons, the Marcus Smarts, guys like that. But we ain't hearing no Cade Cunninghams,
right?
No Anthony Edwards, those type of guys, that caliber, Cooper Flagg and stuff, because it's just too hard to let them dudes get away now.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just don't even reach free agency, to your point. Like, it's, hey, we know that this guy's not going to re-sign with 1 year left, so we're going to make sure to move him before. Like Kawhi right now, right? Kawhi wasn't going to reach free agency at any point. Yeah. LeBron, this is the first time he's ever reached free agency. Like, these guys just don't do that anymore. It's not part of the modern NBA. It's making sure that, hey, we know we're going to reset timelines. Somebody's going to be on their way out. Let's get something for them while we can. So you're just not seeing guys reach free agency. It's like the trade deadline is a bigger deal than free agency nowadays. Who are the best players out there? Like, it's
that could be available. Yeah, what you mean,
signed.
Literally as free agents?
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's dry, and it's been dry.
It's James Harden. It's Norm Powell is probably the biggest name. I mean, Braun actually, I guess, would be the one.
But that's not real.
No, I mean,
because everybody's not in on Braun.
Right.
Like, you don't have a shot. Right. As much as we hear what Dave McMenamin and Shots Out, friend of the show, is saying, send it over our way.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, is LeBron going to Portland? Like, is LeBron going to Milwaukee?
Apparently, Minnesota's interested. Is that real?
If you're, I know kids, you don't even have to take the SATs anymore. But if you sitting at if your GPA starts with a 1 or 2. And you're applying to Ivy League schools, you need to save them $50.
Yes, sir.
Just save the $50. You don't need to apply and put together a package. That's not for you. Not yet. Run your own race. So these teams, and here's the thing, Jay, I don't know how many people are actually falling for it. I don't know how many teams are going to cook up a LeBron package to send to Rich Paul. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there are a lot that are going to talk themselves into it.
If you're the Kings,
I don't know.
Let me ask the insider, our Sports 1140 insider. If you're the Kings, Brendan, are you constructing a package to send to Rich Paul and company for LBJ?
Sure.
You are?
Like, it doesn't hurt. I guess why not? It would essentially, shout out Russell Westbrook. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, I think that.
What's the package look
never
like?
Happening. It's never happening.
Is it a sign-in trade with Sabonis?
It's the king on the Kings. Like, that's all I got. There's some branding. We could we could get rid of the S in the team name if you want. Like, I mean, there's nothing.
Construct me one,
really.
right? Like, can you construct me a package that even begins to look reasonable right now?
No, I mean, the package is like selling him on the basketball fit, right? And so, no. Because the Kings are not going to be good next year, right?
You got to give Bronny the keys.
It'd be, hey, we're about to land Jalen Duren, and we're planning on trading future draft picks to go get Trey Murphy, and, like, for some reason we want to try and compete next year. Then, like, that would be the only sell. Hey, we'll go sign Draymond right now too. You know, whatever it may be. Like, it would have to be some pitch on, we think that we want to be good next year and actually competing, and there's just no world where the Kings are doing that.
Here we go, guys. 2 minutes ago.
No, you don't sound excited.
Here we go. 2 minutes ago.
Who's the star that we're that just changed teams?
Free agent 4.
I know you're not doing this one I'm seeing right now.
Dieng.
Okay.
Has signed a 3-year,
Yep.
17.5. Shams, if you don't get this out my face, man. Get this out my face.
I got a breaking news graphic in front of me for DeAndre Jordan re-signing with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Are you kidding me?
I told you it's dry.
League vet minimum.
We ain't in the desert yet.
Yeah.
When we go summer league, it's the desert right now. What are we doing?
Just think about times Shaq leaving Orlando.
Yeah.
You know, like those were big-time free agent movements.
Man. All right. On the other side, Brendan, you rocking with us. You getting out of here.
Sure, I'll be here.
All right, Brendan. Brendan's going to keep the vibes right as we wait for the first big domino to fall. Do we get a resolution to Jalen Duren? Don't move. Drive, guys. Sactown Sports.
Zach LaVine has opted into his $49 million player option with the Kings. Will the high-priced guard be locked in next to Darius Acuff Jr.? Or should the veteran's minutes be reduced to make way for the new young talent?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
The Sacramento Kings return to Golden One Center this weekend for the California Classic presented by Ticketmaster. Come see top NBA draft picks from the Kings, Warriors, Bucks, and Nets go head-to-head across 6 games on July 4th, 5th, and 6th. California Classic tickets are just $21 or save 30% with a 3-day pass and secure a seat to all 6 games for only $50. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fighttobite.net.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
We golfers tend to grumble too much. Golf Monthly's Nick Bonfield compiled our biggest complaints. They include our own game. The refrain, is it going to be another one of those days, should maybe be realigned and set about the next shot with positivity. Next is our equipment. We always blame our tools even though they were just along for the ride. Course conditioning is another gripe, and maybe you should try getting up while it's still dark, whether it's 108 or 32 degrees, and deal with global warming, limited budgets, and sustainability. And then go hug your superintendent for what they do. Dress codes get a lot of attention. Some feel the tradition should be maintained, and others are comfortable in T-shirts. It's a game, people. Also in the mix are rules of golf, slow play, the World Handicap System, tee time booking systems, bad luck, and more. I say you get out of it what you're willing to put into it. You're on a golf course, your phone's not ringing, and you might make a birdie or two. Enjoy the moment. There's lots of time left in the day for complaints. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
We're already joined by Brendan Nunez, and now we are joined by the one, the only, Frankie Cardicelli. You know it is a free agent frenzy when Frankie Cardicelli is even joining us. And what better way to kick it off, guys? DeAndre Jordan headed back to New Orleans, the Pels, baby. Hey, Jay, give me that etouffee.
Ain't no money even attached to that deal yet.
No, sir.
I have an idea.
He's just there. They're
Give
not
me
paying
a po' boy.
You have an idea what the money probably is.
Unlimited po' boys. That's what it is. Frankie, what do you think, man? We made it to free agency. And you know what? I think Kings fans are a little upset because this Jalen Duren thing is kind of teased them a little bit. Because initially, Frank, I wasn't even thinking about free agency as far as the Kings were concerned. I was thinking about who are they offloading via trade or anything like that. No conversations of free agency even crossed my mind outside of a Precious or Russell Westbrook, who the Wizards are apparently interested in. That's from Jake Fisher. So I don't know, Frank. It feels like we got robbed a little bit of just relaxing during this time period and just, being on the lookout for a possible move, because this Jalen Duren thing came out of nowhere, and you start using, you're the Sacramentan here, start using some triggering terms like wants to be in Sacramento, and I think people start getting a little starry-eyed or heart eye emojis, and then you find out it was probably a leverage play here.
Which the wording's always kind of like that in these kind of situations, and it's funny you mentioned that, how free agency wasn't really at the top of your mind. It wasn't at the top of my mind. I would doubt it was at the top of anyone's mind if you're following the Sacramento Kings, just based on the financial aspect of where they are. But that just kind of speaks to where they are as a team right now. And Scott Perry, who mentioned this morning on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, great interview there if you haven't checked it out, just that there could be a time in his plan where he decides to get a little more aggressive. And I think he uses the phrase prudent and opportunistic a lot, and this probably is a time where he felt this is a chance for the team to add a center who fits the age range of kind of the team they're building. And, the money probably would be around the same as Domantas Sabonis, and you kind of swap out a 30-year-old center with 2 years left, and you bring in a 22-year-old with 4 years left and $40+ million a year. But I get the fact that people probably look at it now as like just kind of pulling the rug from under you when things are kind of feeling like they're almost done. But Detroit's made it clear from the beginning that they don't want to let him go, and that they feel that their price point was fair. And I think that Chris Haynes put out that they're going to match any offer. We'll see if that's true in the next day or two, or however many hours left we have to go here. But I think it just shows the Kings are getting aggressive and making sure people know that they want to sit at the table, and they're not going to stand by and be a punching bag for the next year. They want to compete sooner than later. But maybe this doesn't happen, but this should show that Scott Perry is someone who is looking to make a big swing and make a splash in the near future.
Does it also feel like the lottery changes are a big part of this too? Nobody wants to be in relegation. Nobody wants to be in a bad situation. So you're seeing teams get a bit more aggressive to be somewhere that that the Kings were very good at being for the last decade outside of being team, which is kind of stuck in the middle. And it feels like when you hear the Nets, who they're interested in, whether it's a Kevon Looney or guys like that, feels like everyone collectively is trying to raise their floor, right, at the very least. And I wonder, and I'm thinking about this live here, so, you got to be careful, but I do wonder if, even if it doesn't work with Jalen Duren, if this lays the groundwork for what Scott Perry is thinking and what he's willing to do as far as being aggressive to move Domantas Sabonis and to acquire young talent. People, the idea of, well, we don't want to give away first-round picks, so, we're just going to hold on to Domantas Sabonis. I think I learned from this, they don't want to hold on to Domantas Sabonis, and if they can get someone that they believe in, they will be aggressive with the draft picks. That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, it feels like that's always been what's been waiting in the wings. The one thing we haven't seen, kind of going back to even when, the Fox, Brown era Kings, like we always kind of kept saying, well, they still have those picks they can trade. And there was the Kevin Huerter trade and those stipulations, which kind of delayed it a little bit. But, they could hypothetically package a good amount of draft capital and make a big swing like that. Now, the restricted free agency thing kind of makes this more unlikely. But, like you said, building through the draft now is much harder. And there's no guarantees that a bad season is going to pay off with a top 3, top 5 pick. We just saw it this year. The Kings fell to 7th, thanks to a coin flip, by the way. But no, I think it's just kind of the time might be closer than we think. It kind of seemed like it was a 2-year plan with Scott Perry when he took the job, and I think he kind of mentioned it was going to be a multi-year plan. And, 1 year's down and you have some promising young talent on the roster. And I think when you have a player like Domantas Sabonis, who I think you mentioned a couple weeks ago, it's kind of almost like disrespect a little bit how people are talking about him and looking at him. It was a down year. He played the least amount of games he's played in a season so far during his career. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see him flourish elsewhere, or even next year have a big year in Sacramento when talks to maybe heat back up at the deadline. But when you talk about trade chips the Kings have, I mean, I don't know what better chip they have than Domantas Sabonis right now with 2 years on his deal and someone who could probably get you 18, 12, and 5 on any given night. So will it be enough for them to get this deal over the line with a couple of firsts for Duren? I don't know. In my opinion, probably not. It just seems like Detroit really is attached to this guy who helped them have one of their best years in their franchise history. But like you said, it just kind of makes you wonder, what is this timeline? Is it sped up a little bit because the draft change, or just how aggressive is Scott Perry going to get? Because there's not many other big names out there like that can maybe be a Jalen Duren type player. Walker Kessler is a free agent, but he's unrestricted, I think, or maybe he's restricted with Utah.
Yeah, he's restricted.
He's restricted. So there's other guys out there that could fit that bill, but it seems like Scott Perry has his eyes on one guy right now.
Free agent sharpshooter Tim Hardaway Jr. has agreed to a deal about $6.5 million with the Miami Heat. So Tim Hardaway Jr. on the move again. Thank you, Shams. And people are all joking about this now, just saying, wow, and all this stuff. But Brendan, are there any other names that you think could pop up that maybe initially weren't on your radar? It's funny, and he's gone now, but I even think, I know nobody's paying attention to Brooklyn hoops, but like if Scott Perry ended up being interested at the time in a Nick Claxton or something, just guys that we haven't really thought about.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like nobody is trying to be a doormat because of this relegation situation and things like that. So I do wonder, assuming it doesn't work out with Duren, if there will be a new crop of names. We can move on from the Jeremy Grants. We can move on from some of these names the Kyle Kuzmas, who's arguing about his value along with Jaylen Brown. We can move on from some of these guys to some other players that maybe we initially wouldn't have thought of are on the same quote-unquote timeline as the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because they don't have much flexibility financially right now. I think once the DeMar thing is settled, if they're able to move on from Sabonis, that maybe they would get more flexibility and be able to be in some of these conversations. But it's going to be trades, if anything, right? Like, I think if they would have involved themselves in, like, Isaiah Stewart, for example, I think could have been an interesting get. That's a guy that makes a lot of sense next to Domas, or really just depth pieces, right? Like, they don't have a backup point guard right now, the Kings.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Malik Monk is the answer there. Drew Eubanks, I'm assuming, not going to be coming back. There's probably you need a third-string center unless you're thinking Precious is that guy. But, like, I know Chris Biederman yesterday, hopefully he doesn't mind me saying this, was, like, throwing around the idea of, like, well, they could use somebody like DeAnthony Melton, for example, on this team. Or, yeah, I mean, what are you filling for those last few spots? Moved on from Killian Hayes, but I still think that's sort of the range of players that we're talking about, right? Is you got to fill the Doug McDermott, Killian Hayes, and Drew Eubanks spots. Like, we're not talking about going out and getting John Collins or throwing money at Tari Eason, who's a restricted free agent, even Marcus Smart, like probably making more money than something that's reasonable for them to offer. So I really think we're just kind of talking about these minor depth pieces and specifically stuck in what can they get for Domas? And is anybody going to be willing to trade for DeMar DeRozan? And the answer is probably not, right? Like DeMar's going to end up in Miami or wherever it may be after they buy him out. And that's going to be the end of that. I think essentially is my expectation for that. And the Domas thing, like, they don't have to rush. Is still, you could go into the roster. They could go into the roster go into next year with the roster they have right now, plus whatever tiny depth pieces that we're sort of talking about. And that's fine, right? Like, there's no rush. We've had this 2027 timeline set as when they will actually have flexibility. When Scott Perry was on the station today, and I don't have the exact wording in front of me, but saying there's always an inflection point where eventually we're going to be willing to put picks on the table to try and go get somebody. He didn't say that's right now. It doesn't have to be right now.
Right.
If anything, it could be a mistake to do it right now, right? I was sitting here saying I would pay Duren and essentially overpay Duren because I think it makes sense. But maybe that would be flawed. You don't want to end up in another situation where right now you're stuck with contracts, right? And while that seems like a weird spot to be in, they're also all coming off the books soon. And so you can wait this out, and that may end up being the smartest play here rather than rushing into something.
One word. We got to get to the other side, but one word, is Domantas Sabonis on the roster to start next season? Brendan.
I'm going to say yes.
Also yes.
There you go. Thank you, Frank Cardicelli. Thank you, Brendan Nunes. Follow them on X. Check out all their good work on SactownSports.com. When we return, the end of the Westbrook era in Sac. Say it ain't so. More Drive Guys coming up.
After 2 seasons in Sacramento, the Kings have traded guard Devin Carter to the Atlanta Hawks. With other potential trade assets on the roster, could more offseason moves be coming from Scott Perry and the front office?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
Cheap, cheap. That's the sound of savings happening right now at Elk Grove Honda. You remember, right? Elk Grove Hondas are still cheap, cheap. And right now you'll find a good deal more on new Honda gas and hybrid Accords, Civics, CRVs, and more fuel-efficient Elk Grove Hondas. Every sale is done right here, under the flag in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Come see why generations of families return again and again to Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, because Elk Grove Hondas are cheap, cheap. You can buy golf clubs anywhere, but buy clubs that fit the shelf instead of your swing. That's why Hagen Oaks offers total game fitting. TrackMan dials in your driver and irons. Ping's Ball-Emic Ball Fitter finds your perfect golf ball. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And FootJoy's 3D foot scanner matches you with balance and stability. Whether you're a beginner or accomplished, your best game starts with the right fit. Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Better fit, more fun. Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Thank you to Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunes. Man, I thought we were going to be, notifications. Jay, I'm checking this Wi-Fi. I'm trying to see. I'm not understanding.
Man, the Wi-Fi is being disrespectful right now.
I don't know. Because nothing is coming through. Nothing is coming through right now. I did have this, though. This is from Jake Fisher in the Stein line.
Okay.
League sources tell the Stein line that Washington has a level interest in Russell Westbrook.
Russ.
The 9-time former All-Star's final season of the 4 in his career, in which he averaged a triple-double, 22.2 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, and 11.7 assists per game, came in 2021 with the Wizards. Now, this is the first time, and I don't know how long, that we have heard a team has a level of interest in Russell Westbrook, and a lot is going to come to light, because I remember going to battle with Westbrook fans last season with them saying he really wants to stay on the West Coast, right? Now, I don't know if the Kings are going to offer Russ anything, if they still feel, Brendan did say, it did scare me a little bit, Jay, a little bit of a jump scare when Brendan said, hey, the Kings don't have a backup point guard.
Right.
Now, before we move forward, let's just assume, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes per game. Would you bring Russ back if the dollars made sense? Would you do that?
Well, I don't think you're even going to see 15 to 20 minutes a game.
I don't think so either.
Point guard, yeah.
I don't think so either.
If that's the part of it, then no. Would I bring Russ back? I'm in the camp of, I like what Russ brings to the table as just overall arching player, right? Like he's always about his business. He's on point. He stand on it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind, getting in people's faces and correcting some things that he feels is wrong. And he teaches a lot. Now this is my thing with Russ. You have to make sure that Russ is down for the cause and the fact that this dude that we have is going to be our next star.
Yeah.
We're planning for him to play 37, 38 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. You might sneak in one night, 5, 7, 10 minutes. One night you might not. You might get a DNP, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you have to have that conversation. I don't know where Russ is when it comes to his NBA career, if he's understanding of that. A lot of people feel like he wouldn't be a DNP CD type player, but I don't know. I think someone needs to ask him that first.
Yeah, and I'm looking here.
It might go a week or two you don't play. You good with that?
No, but are you actually?
Yeah.
The Wizards right now, just trying to figure out if Russ would think it's a better situation. So they obviously add Trae Young. They have Bub Carrington, who I know was a little bit rough to start his career, but I think, they're all playing, it's not, again, free basketball. So it's hard to tell what is what.
Right.
So if the Wizards, who I assume aren't giving up on Bub Carrington, then I don't really know how much Russ would play in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Now Washington is in an interesting place, because this turns from free basketball, we have all this time. This turns from that into, we had the first pick in the draft. We have Trae Young. We have Anthony Davis, who they are shutting down trade conversations. Yeah, we don't really have time to let Bub, what are we doing with Bub Carrington?
Right.
So that becomes a conversation to where maybe they're asking for Russ, because maybe there's another trade down the line where Bub Carrington, on the flip side of it, no longer fits our timeline, not because he's too old,
right?
Because he's now too young.
Yeah. I mean,
so maybe that's why, like I said, I don't know much about Bub, but if they're interested, he went 10.7 points per game last season. He played all 82, so shout out Bub Carrington.
Yeah, boy.
3.4 rebounds per game, 4.6 assists, 40% from 3, 42% from the field. So I don't know enough about Bub Carrington to say, oh no, Russ is, not even going to get 15, 20 minutes over there. All we know is that they have a level of interest, the Wizards do, in Russell Westbrook.
He's not, though, because Trae is 35, 30, he's 35-minute a game type guy.
Exactly. So I'm not now Russ, we know, but for the fans, the Russ fans get on me, he can play the 2.
Sure.
He's played the 3.
Sure.
He can guard a 4. He'll do whatever you need.
Yep.
So maybe, again, it's that floor-raising conversation.
I get what you're saying, Alan. I think this, for me, is simple and plain. And I know people don't want to hear that. Sometimes when you come here, you want to hear the complete breakdown and, the metrics, and this is what analytics tell us. And I think it comes down to what Russ, he's entering and has entered the part of his career where he's the wily OG veteran. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to learn to take a step back from some of the things that the expectations that you may have as a player. Not saying he can't do it physically, not saying he can't do it talent-wise. But I think there comes a time where Father Time is just undefeated in the perception of players, right? And so it's for him, you're the veteran that we may need you one night to be Russell Westbrook. But on many other nights, Trey is Trey. Darius is going to be Darius. He's going to get the 37, minutes a night. We may need you for 5, 7 quick ones. We may need you for 10. But there may be a week where we don't see you at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if Russ mentally has come to grips with that, because to me, I think the NBA and NBA circles perception is he's reached that point.
Yes.
Where vice versa, you look at like LeBron, people are like, man, this dude still could play 30 minutes a night, right? Where he may be saying something different. I don't know, but I'm just saying there are perceptions to players. And I think Russ has just kind of crossed that finish line in the perception of, I don't think we need him to play 25 a night. And if he is, then there's a problem. I don't know. Someone needs to ask Russ that, and I'm pretty sure people have, but I guess when I say someone, maybe someone needs to sit down and do an interview. Maybe he needs to go on PG-13's podcast or with Matt Barnes or come on with the Drive guys and say, yo, I recognize that people want me to only play 10 minutes throughout the league, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I don't think we've heard Russ say that, and I think that's why every single year we hear, well, is Russ in the league or is not? It's because most people tend to think, well, what is Russ okay with? I don't know.
And it would have been interesting, again, he found a team that I know they had Dennis Schroeder, but I think that Doug was trying to find his way with the offense, and Russ makes things easier on you. He's going to play his you-know-what off. He's going to get to the cup. He's going to distribute the basketball. And I don't know how things would have looked if they never added Russ and let Dennis Schroeder do a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not saying it would have been good,
right,
but we never really got to see it. I don't think it's a good sign, though, Jay, that the one team that does have a level of interest in Russ, it doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. Right? I'll be honest with
Washington?
Washington.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The way that team down 80 is looking, you could make an argument. Russ, just go out with the rest of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Just go out there, because Steph probably gonna miss. All these dudes gonna miss some time
for sure.
So Russ, you go out. Russ, I think he's better than Pods right now. I mean, Whitey's not here to defend his guy, but I think he might be better than Pods right now. So some of the teams, I've always felt that there are teams that could use Russ's services. That's why it's always been a head scratcher, or maybe it's not as much of a head scratcher, because those teams haven't been interested in him, which has been the separation. And I think to your point, I kind of find it hard to believe that there's no, the agent isn't saying, no, Russ will do X, Y, and Z. And it almost feels like because of it, maybe he doesn't want to play 5-10 minutes. Maybe he doesn't want to do that.
I don't know, but I feel like he's a player. I'll give you a quick example. I'm a huge Iverson fan, right? And if you go back, remember Iverson kind of cut his career short because he was like, I ain't coming off no bench.
Right.
Denver, you want me to come off the bench? Detroit, I'm not coming off no bench.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Where he still had 2, 3, 4 more years in the league. But pride, whatever you want to attach to the fact that he was like, I'm not coming off the bench, right? But I say that in the form of Iverson let that be known. Right. He personally said, I'm not doing it. And then people around, wasn't social network at the time like that, but reporters, the Peter Vessies of the world, David Aldridge's of the world, they came out and was like, well, I don't want to come off the pine.
Yeah.
So now that kind of cuts out a lot of the league. I just don't know. I felt like for the last 4 or 5 years, no one, not a Sam Amick, not a Chris Haynes, not a Mark Spears, not a Alan Stiles, no one has come out and said, well, Russ is good with playing 10 minutes a week. 10 minutes a game. I don't know what Russ wants to do.
Yeah.
So I'd be very interested to hear what Russ or his camp or, family or agent or whoever wants to come out and speak for him and say, he's good. He's cool. He just wants to work.
That's
problem. Yeah, I think that has detoured, and no doubt, I think the public, we probably don't know. I would hope that the people around the league, the GMs and VPs and front offices and ownership groups know what Russ wants. But I just say from the outside looking in, I don't know what he wants. Alan, can you tell me?
I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
Let me shoot him a DM.
Might
see
have
what
to.
happens. Let me tell y'all this much right now. Something just came out. It's not breaking news. But again, going back to what Jay and I were speaking about in the very first segment of the show, Jalen Duren has a level of interest in another team. How about that? We will tell you who that team is and what it all means, if it means anything at all. As Mark Spears said, that the Pistons don't plan on moving him, and why this could be completely different than the Kings being involved. More Drive Guys, 4 o'clock. Don't move.
Take Sactown Sports with you everywhere you go with the Sactown Sports app. The most in-depth coverage of the Kings and 49ers. A library of written and video content. And all your favorite personalities all in one place. Download the Sactown Sports app today and get in on the action. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026. From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey there, Mark and Tom, the travel and entertainment guys with you, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations. Time for our weekly travel tip, and with it, here's Mark Hoffman.
The internet is littered with recommendations made by travel influencers. Tales of luxury hotel stays, upgraded flights, spacious cabins on cruise ships, written by the people who experience them. But are these, by and large, honest reviews? The answer is maybe. Certainly some of the reviewers are upfront in their assessments, but more and more of these influencers are not paying for the experiences they are reviewing. Let me ask you, if you worked in PR for a hotel or cruise line, and you comped a travel influencer with a large following, wouldn't your expectation be that the review which followed would be overly positive? Perhaps not objective or honest, but positive. Take those online reviews with a grain of salt, or maybe half a grain.
More tips to make you a smarter traveler, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yolo Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Well. Saying one thing, doing another, and it all comes down to what do you have on the other side? This is what we've been trying to tell y'all. Okay? And again, more weird wording initially from our guy Mark Spears. What was it? The most you can give? It was not a max contract. That is not the word that they said, but the most you can give an all-star without calling it a max contract. Whatever that was, right? That's what Mark Spears put out. I don't even know. That was about an hour ago when Brendan joined us. Here you go. The Pistons have offered what the franchise believes, not what is legally allowed, what the franchise believes is the most lucrative contract possible. What the franchise believes is the most lucrative contract possible. You ask for a raise, and your company tells you this is the most lucrative salary possible. That doesn't mean they don't have more money. That means this is the money that we're willing to give you. So that came out an hour ago. Now Jake Fisher says that there is interest. Jalen Duren has interest in going to Boston. That's 18 minutes ago.
Man, this dude's everywhere now.
So here's what's happening.
He's for everyone.
He literally, for the streets.
For the street.
So this is what's happening, right? Hey, and Jay, you know, everybody says, oh, Alan, you're going to get into politics. You're going to become an agent. What are you going to do? You know what? I'm a older millennial, but I still got a lot of life to live, Jay.
Boy.
Okay, we a lot of different lives, so you never know.
You're right.
So Agent Allen now, okay, Agent Styles, like my mom's name, got a lot to work with, okay? So you went to Sacramento. You figured out first off who's willing to pay Jalen Duren the money that he wants, right? Whatever the max amount is for a team outside of the team that drafted him. So that's what yesterday was. We're going to figure out who is willing to pay Jalen Duren that money or dang near close to it. That's part one. Now, part two becomes, now who has something that the Pistons might be interested in to try to facilitate this? Because they don't want to lose Duren for nothing, right? Well, what we learned was that it's not clear where they're at with Domantas Sabonis. Not fully clear on that, right? Those first-round picks are always valuable, but the Pistons are trying to win right now. So now all of a sudden, Jalen Duren has interest in Boston. So not to do the Windhorse fingers here, but why would Jalen Duren have interest all of a sudden in Boston? He like a tea party, right? He grew up on Tom Brady. What? What is it? What is it? Do you like the Red Sox? He watched Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon? No. You know what's happening here. The Pistons wanted another star. And a name that's been connected to the Pistons before this Jalen Duren stuff. Enter stage left, Jaylen Brown. So that's what I'm taking from all this, Jay. Who's interested in paying me this money and who might be able to facilitate a deal with the Pistons? Right now, obviously, and a realistic deal. Obviously, if the Lakers want to give him $50 million, then the Pistons are just, they're out of it. They're stuck because he could just say, well, either match this or we out. But on the flip side now, you have the Celtics with a player that we assume, I don't know that for a fact, but it's been at least talked about that the Pistons had some interest in Jaylen Brown. We know the Celtics are fairly open to moving Jaylen Brown. I don't know how Jalen Duren looks with the Celtics, but feels like the Celtics might have a level of interest there. They've been looking for a big man. They had Vucevic at the end of the season, Luka Garza, Neemias Queta, a couple different guys floating around there.
Ain't no star power there, brother.
Doesn't feel like it. Shout out to Neemias Queta.
Ain't no star power there, brother.
So now, Jay, it feels like things have moved on, all right? Moved on from the Kings because, all right, and maybe Scott Perry said, you're not getting 2 firsts. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's not happening. You know, we're not interested in Sabonis. Okay, well, you can't get 2 firsts. You can't get 4 firsts, whatever it is. So now, Jay, today's team, the Boston Celtics with Jaylen Brown, which I guess technically feels more real just because I would assume that the Pistons have a level of interest in Jaylen Brown.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, it looks better. It looks better on paper than the Lakers and the Kings.
It does.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It does. So that's the newest and the truest.
Yeah.
On Jalen Duren and this situation that is changing by the hour, people.
I appreciate the fact, couple things. Number one, it's keeping the lackadaisical, lackluster free agency period going, right?
Yes.
The Jalen Duren saga is cool. It's cooking up some stuff to talk about. The other part about it, too, is I got to give shots out to Jalen Duren and his camp because one thing they're going to do is they're doing their homework. They're picking up the phone. They're calling people who's interested, why you interested, and let's talk, right? Mm-hmm. And as much as, you know, it sounds like he's just open for business.
Yes.
And it could be the Kings, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Pelicans. I don't know what and why he's choosing some of these teams, but it is interesting. And shots out him for, you know, even being – we don't want to be no leftovers. We don't want to be anybody's second option. Mm-hmm. But shots out to him for doing his due diligence.
Yeah.
And calling and you know, picking up the phone and calling and saying he's going to have a meeting. Has the meeting happened? Did he cancel it?
Did he change the flight?
Yeah, you know, did he do the Allen Styles? I got to come in town a little earlier. Like, what's the move? You know, I don't know what Jalen Duren is doing. We did see Walker Kessler get smacked by TMZ, right? Mm-hmm. Sliding into L.A. So we haven't seen Jalen Duren come through Terminal A or B yet. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Well, here's the thing. This is from the 530. That ain't it, Allen. Sacramento didn't offer him as much as he wanted, so he needs to find a higher bid. Well, let's not forget 530. The report yesterday was he wanted to come to Sacramento. So he was happy with the supposed offer or the initial offer from Sacramento. Obviously, they were supposed to have a sit down. The problem with Sacramento is that, and again, going back to our conversation with our guy, Omari Sankofa II of the Detroit Free Press, Sacramento can't just add him, right? So I think what you're talking about, 530, that's the Lakers, because the Lakers have $50 million because LeBron said, I want my world tour. So the Lakers could offer him 50 and it basically would be done with, okay? Because I don't know. I don't see the Pistons going that high or whatever the max is that the Lakers would be able to offer him. What I'm saying is the Lakers have cap space. They don't have to mess around with these sign-in trades. So I don't think it's about that. I do think it was initially about the draft capital you're willing to give up. But I'll tell you this, 530, this is why I don't think it's not necessarily done, because this signals a couple things. This signals that Mark J. Spears report was the Pistons trying to, one, either make it seem like it was done, or two, say, we're close, so if you are interested, let's see what's popping. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now the Celtics all of a sudden say, well, we might be interested. So if the Kings want to get back into play, because I would assume the Pistons are more interested in Jaylen Brown than Domantas Sabonis, that might change how much capital you have to give up. And y'all know I said the same thing yesterday. I'll say it today. 2, as Brendan said, a first and a swap. And you cannot afford to straight up lose a pick.
No.
You can't.
As the Kings?
You cannot lose 2 picks for Jalen Duren.
No.
You want to talk about a pick and a swap? Let's chit-chat. But if they say, hey, Celtics are involved, we need 2 first. I really don't care about the protections and, all these weird rules now about the protections. We just saw what happened to the Clippers and what happened to the Pacers. I cannot lose 2 first-round picks and pay Jalen Duren $40 million.
Nah.
I can't do that.
Nah.
Maybe a 916 out there can. Maybe somebody on the YouTube can. Alan Stiles, if I was Scott Perry, I'm not doing that.
And I don't think Scott is doing that either.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. It doesn't fit his MO. Scott Perry.
Not like that.
Yeah, it doesn't fit his MO. And I'm not exactly sure how close Scott Perry believes the Kings are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said it this morning. There's going to be a point in time where there is going to be a play that I'm going to make, and that's what I'm betting on. Now, those are my words, but he basically said, you stay the course, but there's always opportunity if you see fit to make a move that may make you better that you didn't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so swing for the fences, I guess you could say, right? But I just don't see him saying this is a swing for the fences move. And if the way I perceive it, if it was, we would have heard that by now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone would have jumped out and said, the Kings are all in. They're absolutely all in on the Jalen Duren train, and they're going to make it make sense any kind of way, and they're prepared to throw 4 picks at the table, a la just what the Toronto Raptors just did with
I saw,
Kawhi.
man.
Yeah,
you got that breakdown.
Yeah, let me update that here. Sham says Kawhi Leonard to Raptors has been agreed to, so it's not near anymore. It is done. Sources tell the 4-letter the Clippers will receive an unprotected first-round picks in 2031 and 2033, a 2030 and 2033 second-round pick, and rights to swap. NBA likes to talk about in next year's draft. I'll say this, man. There's no disrespect to Kawhi Leonard because he's a baller. He's a champ, multiple-time champ. He had his best season last year. But I just can't see that, man. The Raptors must really think they're in championship level. Mm-hmm. They have championship level pedigree.
Yeah.
Am I missing something on their roster?
Well, you said the picks. Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick gone. Those are the players.
Yeah, that was earlier, but they're just cleaning up the picks. I'm just trying to figure out, what are the Raptors? Do the Raptors see themselves in the championship category?
They love Scotty. They think Scotty Barnes is one of them ones, right? So this is what you're running out now, Jay. Scotty Barnes, Kawhi Leonard, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl,
maybe
as your center.
He still got to come to grips with some stuff, right?
Yeah. So, or maybe they run a small ball 5. So that's your 5 right now. I know they're really high on Colin Murray-Boyles.
Yeah.
So, but those guys are going to be coming off the bench.
I get, this is what I get. The Eastern Conference can be considered open.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, well, the Eastern Conference is open. Well, the champ resides in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
Albeit they were down on the Spurs in many games. I get that. They were down earlier in the playoffs. They figured it out. You got Giannis coming over to the Heat. Tatum coming back fully healthy.
Yeah.
A fresh year. And then you got the Pacers who look like they should be improved. You never know what Tyree's going to come back and look for. Hopefully it's, the old Tyree, but that Achilles is something serious. You could speak to that. Is the Eastern Conference that wide open for the Raptors to believe that Scotty Barnes, Quigley, and Kawhi and company, RJ Barrett, is championship material? Because to me, you make this move and give up those draft picks if you truly believe he could take you to the next level of winning a championship. Again, Kawhi is a baller, albeit a baller who's been hurt quite a bit. Last year he had a good season, but what did that give the Clippers? If we look at it, to me, this is a play in the fact for the Raptors to say we have championship aspirations right now. And that's cool. That's cool if that's what you believe in. But as for me, I don't see it with that roster. That's a lot to give up for Kawhi for me. That's to me. That's 4 picks and a swap.
Yeah. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I think that's way too much. And here's the thing, Jay. It's so funny. Remember at the end of 2024, 2025, we were all saying, oh, man, Kawhi was healthy. They wasted that run, the Clippers did, because I think they had won the first game against the Nuggets, or they had control of that series at one point, and all of us saying, oh, man, they wasted a healthy Kawhi. Jay, you know how many games Kawhi played in 2025? 37. And we were sitting here acting like, oh, the Clippers, they finally got a healthy Kawhi. He played 37 games. Then this season, he was pretty healthy. He played in 65. The season prior in 2024, that's right. 2024, he played 68. Season before that, he played 52. Okay, so it actually isn't as terrible as I thought, but at the same time, I don't know. I look at it like this. He's 34 years old. All right, he's 35.
He's 35, fam.
He turned 35 yesterday.
Yeah, he's 35. I just saw that this morning. Yeah.
35. And the reason he wanted to go is because they're going to have to give him an extension. It's basically what the Rockets did for KD, but the Rockets didn't have to give up half of what the Toronto Raptors gave up. If I'm remember, I'll remember that many picks.
Yeah, no, because they sent over a few. Well, I mean, Brandon Ingram feels like the Raptors were trying to get off Brandon Ingram, and he never blossomed into what they thought he was going to be. And so I'm not mad at the Raptors for doing that.
Right.
I think the Raptors have some young talent. I guess if I'm just, really bringing it down to the bare minimum and looking at what I'm arguing and having a conversation about is the Raptors believe they have a championship caliber team. Yeah. Now, of course, they're going to continue to keep on working as they should. All NBA teams are going to try to get better. So I'm not saying, hey, look, Jay, they could go and swap and go get somebody else. Maybe this is a piece to the next piece, right? We'll see. That's TBA. Or TBD. But at the same time, I just don't see it with them. And maybe it's the Scotty Barnes. Like, I like Scotty Barnes. I'm not sold on Scotty Barnes like a lot of people are. Emmanuel Quickley, okay. Good ball player, not great. RJ Barrett, I really don't know what RJ Barrett is right now. I truly don't.
Nobody does.
But I do know this. Kawhi's going to miss 20 games.
He is.
I know he's going to miss 20 games.
He is.
Pretty close to it.
Scotty Barnes, still only 24, Jay. But it's Quickley, RJ Barrett, who I don't know if he's expiring, so I don't know if they'll come to terms and extend him. The center position, that maybe do they get back into the Domas convo?
Maybe.
Well, but I mean, they actually can they? They just gave up all those picks.
I know.
So I don't even know if they can.
But maybe if you're the Kings, you are. If you want to just get off the Domas deal, maybe you're willing to accept one pick. I'll take a pick in 2034 at this point. But because I think you go up to 2034 now. I think that 34 is this year. So I get it. They're taking a swing. I guess I'm just saying, if you're betting on Kawhi, number one, to be healthy, good luck. For the playoffs, too, and the season. Second part of it is, you're telling me Kawhi is the star that you need, Scotty Barnes is your 2. You're good with that. Now we're getting ready to see what Scotty Barnes is really about.
Yeah.
Right? Because now there's no mulligans. We brought Kawhi over, and you have to be the Scottie Pippen to his Jordan. And some nights you got to be the Scottie Pippen above Jordan, right? So now we getting ready to get some answers taken care of with the Raptors, and I'm good with that. I'm interested because a lot of people who look at the Raptors like logical Raptors fanatic, he's like, look, it's open, baby. The Eastern Conference is open. I'm not here to say it's not. I'm just saying it looks a little bit tighter than I think what it did last year.
Yeah.
Compared, because now Giannis has moved a little bit. Wiggins is, so now we have a couple of different players. I mean, Charlotte has kind of went for something, right? They moved a piece. So we'll see. They threw Nas Reed in there. No doubt they probably getting ready to try to look for something else here. I'm not exactly sure where the Raptors fit, but I don't know if Kawhi would have been it for me at the level of which they've already paid so far.
Yeah. I'm just thinking I might be losing it here. I'm just trying to talk myself into the Domas Jakob Poeltl combo.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
I'm just saying I don't think they have enough, and I'm just looking at a glaring hole.
What's their pick? What's the cachet of picks they have now?
Oh my goodness. Well, we know what was that. We know what they just lost. So they just lost
a 31 and a 33 in first round. Unprotected, by the way.
Unprotected is insane.
A 30 and 33 second round, which I know you value second round picks quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity to swap. Right. Which the 2027 draft all but is in shambles at this point.
Right.
You might get 4 or 5 good players, it looks like, and the rest of it's going to be take your pick. If B. Mullins, there's nothing against Brandon Mullins, but if he's a top 5 pick, that lets you know everything that you need to know. 27 draft pick.
Yeah,
so I'm good with that.
Honestly, if they probably feel like you know what, this is my guess. I'm looking at this the wrong way. Of course, I'm looking at this through the Kings lens. They're probably looking at this saying, no, we're making this move to kind of cover Jakob Poeltl, who actually didn't play terrible. He doesn't play. It's not about him being terrible. Yeah. It's about him not being on the court. So towards the end of the season, hey, he actually got in there a little bit. He's serviceable, and we just think we have enough throughout the rest of the lineup and the roster that we're not going to give out any. If we're going to give out first picks, let's just go get Kawhi. So I think that this, in a weird way, we'll see, but I think that this, in a weird way, might even end the Domas Raptors conversation unless the Kings lower their price tag. But even if they lower the price tag, it's, hey, if we're even starting a convo. And here's the thing, Jay, how important is R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley now? Those were the names kind of thrown out in that deal. If it's R.J. Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, and at this point, I'm going to need Colin Murray-Boyles or Jacoby Walter if you guys aren't giving us a pick and we're taking Jakob. But at that point, I don't know. You if you're the Raptors, I don't know if you're interested in breaking any more moves. Can you afford to move off of Emmanuel Quickley or R.J. Barrett? I'm not sure. I know they like Jamal Shed, but I'm not sure about that. I don't even think they have enough with Emmanuel Quickley or R.J. Barrett. But R.J. Barrett expiring, of course they would, going back, they would make you take Jakob Poeltl. And then at that point in time, you say, well, if I'm taking Jakob Poeltl, back in the day, Jay, when it was De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton, you pick. Well, we taking one of them.
Yeah.
If we taking Poeltl and you're not giving us a pick, we taking one of them. That's it. Maybe it's, give us, because
You good with the pick? A pick in R.J. Barrett?
Well, it would have, you probably have to take Poeltl for the money.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, you good with the pick, Poeltl, and a first-round draft pick, R.J. Barrett and Poeltl for Domas to get off that deal.
If they would do that, I'd probably do it.
Toronto pretty much owns all their number one draft picks posing now, the 31 and 33.
Yeah.
And the swap, but it's still theirs. They have everything else. They got a treasure trove of all their own picks. They don't have anybody else's picks for the most part as I look here. From next year to 33, they own their first-round draft pick prior to Kawhi.
So they got money.
So they have their picks. They're doing a good job with that. They don't have nothing extra.
Mm-hmm. So they got money. That's all they need, Jay. But yeah, I'm gonna need I would probably do it and spin the block, but I'm gonna need a first-round pick. Yeah, I don't know if they would do it unprotected. Probably not. But I'm going to need a first-round pick, or I'm going to need Jacoby Walter or Colin Murray-Boyles, and I probably would more so want Colin Murray-Boyles just from a size perspective. But that's what I would want. I don't know if the Raptors would be interested in that, but that's That's what I would want.
I would believe they have one more move up their sleeve.
That's
they
got to
be playing, meaning the Raptors. I think the Raptors probably have one more move up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Be interested to see what they have. But they do have their draft picks. They just gave up a 31 and a 33 first-round draft pick unprotected. I would imagine they look at themselves as being pretty competitive over the next 5 or 6 years with, Kawhi and Scotty Barnes and all that. Now, we were talking about Kawhi would be 40, but I'm just saying the next 3 to 4 years, they see themselves probably competitive. They're probably looking at the 31 pick like, who cares? Yeah. Now, 33 is a little far down the road, but you never know. It's interesting. I think they believe they got one more. I believe they have one more move.
They have to.
They got to be. I'm looking at the roster, and I'm looking at their picks and everything. I just, as I sit here and think about it, Kawhi's probably their move, but they got one more to do.
Yeah, it can't be over just like that. When we return, DeMar DeRozan, we haven't even gotten DeMar DeRozan news. Is that coming up soon? You'll have to find out. More Drive, guys. Don't move.
After 2 seasons in Sacramento, the Kings have traded guard Devin Carter to the Atlanta Hawks. With other potential trade assets on the roster, could more offseason moves be coming from Scott Perry and the front office?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Toyota's 4th of July sales event is on. This is the season for more. Check out Toyota's 21 hybrid and electrified models. Score deals on the 50 MPG Corolla Hybrid and 51 MPG Camry. Get 0% APR on all Toyota EVs like the new CHR. Or get 0% APR plus $1,500 finance cash on BZ. Don't miss Toyota's 4th of July sales event. Toyota, let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit and cannot be combined with other offers in 6/30/26.
Hi. I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust. Along with my partner and associates, I have been helping accident survivors recover for their injuries for over 25 years. And we can help you. There's no charge for calling. So please call us today.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
The stars align in West Sacramento as the A's go head-to-head with the Los Angeles Dodgers for a spectacular summer series starting Monday, June 29th. Celebrate the start of the holiday week with an action-packed series. Be there to witness one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In celebration of 80 years of 49ers football, Sactown Sports is counting down 80 of the most memorable moments that have shaped the team's storied legacy and winning tradition. Here's today's faithful flashback.
Number 50. T.O.'s Dallas Stars celebration.
There are more important moments in 49ers history, but you won't find many more memorable than what Terrell Owens did in Dallas. Adding fuel to the Niners-Cowboys rivalry on September 24th of 2000, T.O. caught a TD and sprinted to midfield and stood on the Cowboys star with arms out and looking to the sky in an act of faith. The Cowboys naturally didn't like it, but when T.O. caught a late TD to put the game away, he sprinted to the star again and planted the ball on the logo, and instantly he was blasted by the Cowboys' George Teague. Teague was tossed from the game. T.O. was suspended the next week by the commissioner, even though that penalty was later reduced to just a fine.
Faithful Flashbacks on Sactown Sports 1140. Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Whitey Gleason out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Don't you worry. I know. It's always tough when Whitey's out. But he'll be back. Don't you worry. And maybe by the time he's back, there'll be some actual moves. How about that? Right? Maybe that will happen. And Jay, time is flying by. Doesn't it feel like I just brought up the Jalen Duren Celtics thing? Doesn't it feel like I just brought it up?
Yeah.
I was pretty much on it when it came out. 45 minutes ago.
Man.
45 minutes ago. And by the time we go to another break, Jalen Duren will be saying, I want to go to New Orleans. I want to try some jambalaya. Whatever it is. So as these things continue to update and change, we will keep you abreast of everything that is going on. Now, as we get back to when somebody asked the question, is Duren a building block? Is it too soon to add a big player when we're still building? I think that's a fascinating question.
That's the question we've all been asking.
Yes. I don't know if it is. I don't know that it is too early. I think it's a matter of what do you think about that player, right? I think there are definitely players that accelerate. Because remember, he's only 22, right? So I don't know if it's ever too soon to add a 22-year-old. You see what I'm saying? But you're going all in, but we're just not used to it, Jay, because the Kings don't draft players that are that young. So we're just not used to a 22-year-old. I'm just no.
Don't do that, man.
No, we're not used to somebody being 22 about to get their rookie scale extension. We're used to them being 22 as rookies. That's the difference. So Jalen Duren is the same timeline. It's not a change of a timeline or anything else. It's more so about how much do you believe in Jalen Duren? And I don't personally know. Now, 2 picks, as I've said a couple times, is too rich for my blood. But I know some of you out there. Jalen Duren. Yeah. Okay. I know some of you out there probably are, saying, well, you got to do what you got to do. And if you got to go get somebody, you got to go get somebody. Again, Jake Fisher saying if by Friday there's no resolution, he thinks things will be interesting. And he is claiming that the two sides are still very far apart. And that's why that Mark J. Spears note was kind of interesting, how they said, this is what we think is the max. We got our own max. The Niners got their own big board.
Yes, sir.
And the Pistons got their own max. We know what we can give you. This is what we feel comfortable giving you, Jalen Duren. This is what we feel comfortable giving you. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But I wanted to discuss DeMar DeRozan, because I do think we're not too far away from DeMar DeRozan and the time in Sacramento coming to an end. I don't think we are too far away in that regard. Could be at some point today, could be tomorrow. I don't think we're very far away, and that's what I said yesterday. But to recap DeMar DeRozan's time in Sacramento, man, oh man, what a time to be alive. So he signs a deal, right? By the way, at that time, Kendrick, we could not hear Not Like Us. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere. Not Like Us was everywhere, all right? Summer League happens, and we're about to hit what? What is it, the 2-year anniversary of DeMar popping up at the California Classic?
Yes, sir.
So DeMar pops up. He the sign and trade happens. HB, who, by the way, HB, 1 year to stay in San Antonio. Stay there, HB. Stay there. Shout out Harrison Barnes.
Shout out Bones Highland on his 1 year deal to go to Minnesota.
Okay.
At minimum.
All right. So,
let's pipe it up, baby.
Yeah, the little guys. We're that breaking news sounder. The little guys, little contracts happening. So DeMar DeRozan, they're nothing like us. We played that over these airwaves about 1 million times. Even from the beginning, people were a little bit confused as to how to feel about DeMar DeRozan. Does it fit? Does it not? I took the perspective of, look, I hope it fits. I want the Kings to be good. So we tried to see a world where it could happen. Hey, they're going to have 2 closers instead of 1, right? They're going to have 2 closers instead of 1. This is great. Now we get what? 3 months into that tenure, whatever it is. And before we even got there to start the season, injuries on injuries on injuries, right? Now, let us not forget, Malik had some injuries. DeMar had some back stuff. Domantas Sabonis had some issues as well. And we were essentially robbed of seeing what that team could do, all within the first couple months. So that all happens, right? That all happens. Then we get to a point where in month 4, I believe it is, right? Or month 3, the coach that he has spoken to on some level gets canned in Mike Brown. And DeMar, I don't know about you, Jay, when I got a big trip, sometimes I'll be a bit lazy. I don't even unpack all the way.
Yeah.
It is highly possible that Mike Brown was fired before DeMar DeRozan was done unpacking his suitcase. That's actually possible. So they move on from Mike Brown. Okay, well, now what happens? It clearly doesn't work. The ejecto button gets pressed, and we all know what happens with De'Aaron Fox as he moves on. Now, DeMar DeRozan is essentially stuck out here. He got the bag. Don't get me wrong. Nobody is ignoring that fact. So that happens. He comes back the next season. Well, sorry, Zach LaVine joins, his buddy from Chicago. There were question marks about how much they actually worked well together. Obviously, they had Lonzo, and they had a nice little stretch. I don't think they were going to win the championship that season, but injuries got in the way, and they had that one good season, right? So they said, all we need is a point guard. Come back this next season. Well, how about 2? We're going to get you 2 with 1, Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. Still didn't end up working. A lot of different dynamics at play. Dennis Schroeder to this day will tell you that he doesn't think that the Kings, were as truthful as possible in some of the promises that they made. So now DeMar DeRozan, after 2 of the, I can almost guarantee, most unique years in his career, is, I guess, hoping to get traded, whatever it is. He's such a chill guy, it feels like, Jay, that I don't think, I got to get out of here now. He's just kind of riding the wave. But it does feel like at some point in time, DeMar DeRozan will no longer be a member of the Sacramento Kings. And I don't know. I don't know DeMar. I know he's very open about mental health and things like that. He was doing the food YouTube for a while, and I joked with him at Media Day, let's go grab some food somewhere at some point. So I don't think he's the type of guy to have regrets. But at the same time, and it was, 2 years is 2 years, wasn't 5 years or anything like that. But at the same time, you got to think that he's looking at whatever the other options were, and we're not sure what those were. Whatever those other options were, thinking, I probably picked the worst outcome here with the Sacramento Kings in that moment.
Don't do that, Alan.
No, but I'm just.
Don't do that, man.
No, you got to think. You got to think that.
See, to me, and I let you bloviate for the last about 8 minutes by yourself.
You were working the phones.
No, I'm just looking, but I'm also double dipping, or actually, I'm doing about 3 different things. Robbie Cakes 28 on the Chateau. Jay, what song was that? I never answer him. Well, first of all, let me say this, Robbie. I rarely look at the Chateau when Whitey and Allen are both here.
Right.
Because they're both scouring it. I might take a look at once or twice, an hour or something like that. I'm doing like 4 other things. The song that I played was Andre Nicotina. It says smoke something, something, and rap. I'll just leave it at that. You can find it. But with that being said, let me just make this simple and easy.
Okay.
For the whole Debo thing. Debo came to Sacramento as a star, and he's leaving a star. He came to Sacramento as a super respected future Hall of Famer, and he's leaving Sacramento that way. Did it go the way that he probably wanted to go, post the Beam team and everything else here in Sacramento? Obviously not, right?
Right.
I hate the fact that it didn't work out for him. That's the way the game goes, though. Right? You make a choice and you stick with it and you move on. I hope if he doesn't return back to Sacramento, shots out to you, bro. Hopefully you can go maybe get that GP championship somewhere else if it's to happen that way. All love. That's it. It's simple, man.
But it's all up for me. No,
I didn't say that. I didn't say it's not. I'm just saying.
You can't live in the regret world.
Man. It is what it is, baby.
Yeah.
What can we do, Alan?
I know.
He came here. He came, he conquered. What is it?
He came, he saw, he conquered.
Right, he did it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out the way. Unfortunately, he was a piece in the cog that didn't work. He was one of the pieces in the aftermath of the Beam team that it didn't go the way he wanted to, right?
Yeah, and look, and he broke some records. Right? He climbed up the scoring ladder as well. So there were some good things that happened.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong. For sure. I'm just saying, a lot happened.
You did. You're right. Hey, listen, you know what? Fan how you want to, Alan.
I'm
Do
just
you,
saying,
baby? Do you?
It's just everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I'm just saying.
It did.
How many other teams did that in the last 2 years?
You're right. What were the options, though?
I don't know.
Or was it?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Was it the Warriors? Was that legitly something that we could? Was the Clippers legit? The conversations, the whispers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was Phoenix legit?
Hey,
was Miami legit?
He might come back. We don't know.
He might.
It's not over yet.
Yeah,
it's not over yet. You know what else isn't over? We got Jalen Duren updates. This time from Sam Amick. Another one. Hey, play that DJ Khaled. Another one. All right? Drive, guys. We'll be right back.
Like and subscribe to the Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube channel at Sactown Sports 1140 to get the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt and Kayla, and the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on demand and at your fingertips. Get your fix of the Sacramento Kings, 49ers, Giants, Athletics, NFL, NBA, and the latest in sports and entertainment all in one place at Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. As many of you know, my song Winning Streak is about my own personal struggles with addiction. I first sought help for my addiction at 14 years old. Start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org. The real you is worth recovering. Choose Change California provides access to proven treatment options for addiction to opioids and stimulants. ChooseChangeCA.org. This is your chance to recover your life.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the matchday spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
As we roll into summer, there's a new opportunity for you to get a new truck at a great monthly payment at Folsom Chevrolet. At Folsom Chevy, they're now offering 0% financing for 5 years on every new 2026 Silverado half-ton in stock. 0% financing on a two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, LT, RST, High Country, you name it. Together, let's drive. Must finance with GM on approved credit, $16.67 per 1,000 finance. Cannot be combined with other offers. Ends July 7, 2026.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. Plus, get a free base with select mattress purchases. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Okay, this is an actual update because this is what Jay alluded to early on. I think Jay, I think you might have got confused with some information you were getting.
No. He said it. He just rearranged the tweets.
Yes.
But I got what you said.
This is, you got the two phones and the articles, a lot going on. Okay, so I didn't mean to come off as negative about the whole Jalen Duren thing. We just didn't want to be that station that sits there and just says, this is all great. He wants to come to Sacramento. Isn't that awesome? Without going through the flow and waiting for other outlets and entities to get involved. That's all it was. We heard what we heard. We were happy about it, but obviously there are other pieces to the puzzle, a la my sleepover analogy from yesterday. So this is from Sam Amick, and he tweeted this out, tweeted the article out about 2 minutes ago. So it's hot off the press, all right? So this is what he says. Duren, as The Athletic has reported, is a restricted free agent who is taking meetings with the Lakers and Kings on Tuesday, today, with the hopes of finding a sign-and-trade pathway out of town. The gape in negotiations between Duren and the Pistons sparked this strategy, but it remains possible the two sides eventually strike a deal, especially considering the signals sent by the Pistons. Detroit, here we go. Detroit does not have interest in the Kings scenario, which would send three-time All-Star Domantas Sabonis their way as a replacement for Duren, according to league sources who spoke on condition of anonymity to describe ongoing deliberations. That means it was close.
Yeah.
That means that was in the building.
Yep.
Okay. Then Sam goes on to talk about the Lakers. They could give Duren an offer sheet that the Pistons could match or try to compel Detroit to cooperate in a sign-and-trade structure in which the third-team All-NBA center would go into their salary cap space. It will be challenging for Los Angeles to land him, giving the Pistons ability to control the situation by either matching the offer sheet or refusing to engage on the sign and trade, which then he gets into Tobias Harris and things like that. The point is they don't want Domantas Sabonis. That's the main point. He does add at the very end that this isn't a great look for the Pistons because this was supposed to be an offseason where they are building, not necessarily losing pivotal players, is a quote. The focus at the start of free agency, it seems, is on not losing the pivotal players it already had in-house, close quote. So that's from Sam Amick.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Jay.
Yeah.
When we talked to Omari at 2:30, it was 10%.
Yeah.
Does this is there any, and I'm not doing the thing, but is this fully cooked at this point?
I mean, you never say never, right? Because if we say that, then what happens? Something happens tonight or tomorrow or something. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's back on. I'd say we're getting down closer to 1%.
It feels like
for the Kings.
Yeah. It feels like that initial idea of straight up Domantas Sabonis and whatever picks that the Kings felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
For Jalen Duren, it feels like that is cooked.
Yes.
That iteration of it. If there are other ways to involve other teams, maybe it reinvents itself.
Yep.
Or if there is a Zach LaVine conversation, which, it has kind of played its hand before. But that's it. I think we can say the initial iteration of Domas and enter picks for Jalen Duren, that is done.
I think so. And the way the deal that was sent out, the initial deal, it's completely over.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably close to that. Yeah.
If there is, hey, the Celtics, I don't know, Domas goes somewhere and Jaylen Brown goes to Detroit. And the Celtics get Sabonis, Jaylen Brown goes to the Pistons, and the Kings get Duren. If there's some Frankenstein 3-team trade like that, that might be alive. But the Pistons, as far as Sam is reporting, do not want Domantas Sabonis on their roster.
Yeah.
That's what we can say.
Right.
So other ways to...
And I always say if Sam is saying it, it's pretty close to concrete.
Yes.
I've known Sam enough to know, and he says it quite a bit. If you ever pay attention to Sam on the morning show when he does his hit, Wednesdays or Thursdays? One of the two, I can't remember. Thursdays, yeah, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Sam is always, he always says, I really can't speak to that, but I can speak to this. This is what I know, right?
Yeah.
And I've known Sam long enough, going way, way back, SACB, AOL, Fan House, all that type of stuff, that he doesn't really move on anything unless he's been told that in concrete and he believes it. He's not going to run with it. So for him to come out and say that, I believe it. That deal's pretty much done.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. Now, as you said, if Scott Perry can cultivate another form of, like you said, LaVine, a couple draft picks, a third, fourth, 15, we can get creative if we had to. But the Domas for Duren and a few picks, that model seems to be done.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
Celtics. Pick up the phone.
Meaning you want to call them to get them in the mix, or what are you saying?
If the Celtics were interested in Sabonis,
yep,
then you could send Sabonis to the Celtics. Jaylen Brown goes to the Pistons.
Okay.
And Jalen Duren goes to the Kings. And that the draft picks, that compensation can be handled the way it needs to be handled. I mean, it's right there.
So you
Jay.
cooking it up for Scott now.
Hey, Scott.
Putting it in a pot.
It's just like that. The Celtics looking for a big man, clearly. That's how this thing going to get done. But as far as...
Start it down. Go ahead.
That's right.
Start it right here on Sac Sports 1140 The Drive, guys. Alan Stiles says...
Alan Stiles says, keep an eye. Don't be surprised.
Okay.
If there is a world...
Yep.
Where Jaylen Brown ends up in Detroit instead of Domas, because Domas heads to Boston.
Right.
Allowing Jalen Duren to come to Sacramento, and the Kings disperse those picks the way those picks need to be dispersed. Just keep an eye.
You got it.
Just keep an eye. That's all
Start
I'm
it
saying.
now, man. Start it now.
It's on, it's on record now.
Get your Grant Afsef movement on right now. Go ahead and do it.
That's what it is right now, all right? So... yeah, I don't know, Jay.
That'd be a cold trade right there.
It would. I mean, it's not crazy.
Yeah, those are 3 big names in the league.
Yeah,
moving around. That'd be very interesting.
It's not crazy, But I think the biggest question is Adrian Sanchez saying, well, who would be the Pistons center? Well, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out at a later date.
Ken Home, I think this was talking about the DeMar DeRozan. He was like, oh, my goodness, how can you tell Styles not to do something? He can do whatever he wants. You can disagree with him. Yeah, I was just playing with him.
Hey, thank you, Ken.
Oh, my goodness.
See, I got, they call it, Jay, the FC.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
we
sir.
got the different FC or Ronaldo versus Messi.
Right.
So, no, I got my FC. So they grow it here in Sacramento. Right. You see them out Rivercats games, and they're protective over me, Jay.
What jersey they wearing?
They wearing the one that I got. the same
Listen,
one.
Kid Home, you ain't got to get at me, man, because I jumped on your boy.
That's
All I
right.
said was, man, leave DeMar DeRozan alone. Let him do what he want to do, man.
I'm leaving him alone.
That's it, brother.
All right.
Fan how you want to, Ken. You right, brother.
That's right.
Fan how you want to, man.
Free agency is still rocking and rolling. You never know what could happen any minute, so don't you go anywhere when we return. One more hour taking you up to 6 p.m. Drive, guys. We'll be right back.
NBA free agency is here. Stay locked into Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com for the latest insight on the Sacramento Kings and around the league.
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging.
Let me check that for you.
To help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms? At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
The stars align in West Sacramento as the A's go head-to-head with the Los Angeles Dodgers for a spectacular summer series starting Monday, June 29th. Celebrate the start of the holiday week with an action-packed series. Be there to witness one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
I remember the days when the news was coming out so fast, you wouldn't even know who wasn't or was signed, right? You'd be saying, oh, well, the Kings can get this guy, and Spot Track or whoever hadn't updated it yet because things were happening so fast. That's not the case right now. That's not the case. So what we're going to do now, okay, we're going to look at some of these names that are still available and come up with my wish list, all right? A dream list here. Now, first and foremost, before we get to that, I just want to remind people of some of the names that are floating around. Now, again, to be fair, Spot Track isn't fully updated, but some of the names we already know, like, for example, Kristaps Porzingis, they still have on it, but we know Kristaps. And the reason they have it is because nothing has been made official yet, right? So some of the names, just to remind people, man, who the heck is even available this go-round? You got LeBron. You got, I think James Harden is somebody that is just planning on signing another extension with the Cavs. CJ McCollum, he's staying with the Hawks, right?
Yep. 1 year.
And these are just in order of who's making the most money. Chris Middleton, I do not know.
Still up.
I do not know.
Yep.
So you go Chris Middleton. Like I said, Porzingis is done. Tobias Harris is an interesting one. That was part of the conversation Sam was having about one Jalen Duren. We know Draymond Green is technically a free agent, but we know he's just waiting to go back to the Warriors. John Collins is an interesting one. What the heck is John Collins' market?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, 2 years ago we would accept him with open arms. Now it's kind of like, man, we don't have no space for you, family.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Tough.
Yeah,
is
man.
He might be the type of, like, I could see him doing a Miami thing or something.
Right. Well, he's probably to the point where coming off of this contract, Jay, he was making $25 a year. I think he's done with that, right? Based on his role. If he goes to Miami.
25, nah. That's his. You ever look at Basketball Reference and you look at a person's deals,
yes.
And it was, or it could be basketball, football, whatever. They're done with their career, and you're looking, and you're like, man, how much money did they get? And then you look, it's like first couple years they didn't hit. Then they got that one deal where it just blew up 12, 14, 16, 18. Then it's like, oh, yeah, 8, 7, 6. That's his money.
Yeah.
That 24 a year, whatever he walked away with taxes, that's a blessing. Shouts out to John Collins, man.
That's what you would call his peak contract.
That was his peak, brother.
That was his peak contract.
Yes, sir. Prime.
And because what happened was he was coming off the bench with the Lakers, with the Clippers. And I just don't see any, if that's kind of who he is now, in this economy, you can't be paying $25 million for people coming off the bench.
No, sir.
For the most part.
Yeah, no, sir.
For the most part.
You have to be the highest level bench player, like 6 man.
I think Nas is getting 20?
I think he's right under.
Yeah.
He's right around there. He might have got 20 because that was the thing we were talking about. Mm-hmm. He got 20 and Malik got 19, right?
Well, he got
like
getting 25.
Yeah.
We know he ain't getting 25. So John Collins, that's interesting. I don't know why it's interesting at this point, but it's still interesting to me. He's cooked the Kings once or twice. Anthony Simons, Jay, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him.
Ooh, that boy got 25, 5 for 125. Nas Reed.
Nas Reed,
Yes,
25.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I stand corrected. Now, he's no longer on the Timberwolves.
No, he's in Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Maybe better. I was going to say better place, but I'm not sure.
I think he'll start now.
He should.
I think so.
He better.
Anthony Simons, I couldn't tell you what that brother got going on.
He's kind of one of them veterans. It's funny because he's still young, but he got into the league, fresh out to high school, G League, right?
Yeah.
My bad. I thought I saw something come across. But I think he's the type of guy that's looking for, a Miami, send him up to Minnesota. Like you probably attach him to somebody that's ready to go. I'll be a logical Raptors fan. Take him up to Toronto.
Yeah, right. That's it. I mean, I think Toronto needs more scoring. I would agree with you there. Next on the list, I promise I'm not doing a thing here, people. Next on the list, that's just who came up next. Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, who we've talked about time and time again. I saw that the Bulls had a level of interest in
and
Kuminga.
You said you're not going to talk about it.
I was just laying that out.
Would you right now, and this is the one time I'll entertain it.
Okay.
Unless it's something serious down the road.
Right.
916-339-1140, Chateau, text line, whatever. With the knowledge that the Kings were looking and may still be looking to get Jalen Duren, lets me know they're big fish hunting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Kuminga is the bass, but he might be the striper.
Yep.
He might be the might be the bluegill.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what he might be the bluegill.
Yeah, trout.
I'm just saying, would you entertain the fact on a sign and trade, because you just don't have the money to give to him? Got to be realistic here. Would you be available and open to Jonathan Kuminga right now, today?
Of course I would. What I gotta lose? That it depends on the price tag. Here's the real one, Jim.
In the 20s.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it's a sign and trade, you know who is right there. And I believe Brendan had said that Keegan, I think it's now, if I'm not mistaken,
kicks in.
He's okay. He's you can trade him now.
Yeah, kicks
right?
in. Yeah.
I think that's the real question. Now, you wouldn't have to do a first. You wouldn't have to do nothing. They might have to give you something. But just Keegan for Kuminga. I'm just saying money-wise.
Yeah.
Because it's
Makes
not going to
sense.
be Malik, you know what I mean?
DeAndre Hunter is $24 million. Send him back.
I'll do that.
Come on home, DeAndre.
Hey.
Come on home, D to Atlanta, baby. ATL.
DeAndre and a
second. Send that one of our last 2 seconds.
If they that's the thing. They're prepared to let him walk for nothing, so they have no leverage.
Yeah, you're not giving. First of all, I'm not giving them no draft capital to bring Jonathan Kuminga. It's a money thing.
What if they said, "Hey, we're not doing Hunter. We're not.
We're doing what? Keegan?
It's got to be Keegan for Kuminga. Leave the table hot.
Yeah.
Leave a tip.
I'll let everybody else answer that.
I know. Well, then you just answered it.
I'll let it. No.
Because I didn't answer it either.
Yeah. 916-339-1140.
I
I'll let
plead the
everybody
fifth.
else. Yeah.
I plead the fifth on that. But I'm curious what thoughts are.
Sign and trade. Kuminga for Keegan straight across.
That's it. And we leave it there.
There you go.
Let it marinate.
Yes,
Phone
sir.
lines are open. What'd you do? I'm not saying no or yes.
Yep.
I'm not a part of this conversation.
Me either.
We're going to keep it moving
Plead
here.
the fifth.
Vucevic. I don't know what he's 30. He's basically 37 years old.
OG.
I didn't realize he was that old.
Send him to Boston again.
Norman Powell, we talked about him.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the timeline. Was he 32, 33?
Hold on, Jay.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Here we go.
I need a dog. Hold on, Jay.
Okay.
I need a dog.
Okay.
I need someone who's going to help the culture. I need a backup point guard. Come on home.
Come on home.
Colin Sexton. There's your backup point guard for the Kings right now.
Come on home, Colin Sexton.
Come on home, see? There's your backup point guard, Jay. We need him. We need a backup PG.
Pull up Colin Sexton's numbers from last year.
Colin Sexton. Now, look, he was making 17, so I don't know what type of, movement would have to be made.
How old is how old is Colin Sexton?
Probably about to be 30.
30?
He's 27 years old.
Man, he seems like a little older than that.
27 years old.
Okay.
68 games played.
68 games.
15.4 points per game.
Yep.
2.3 rebounds per game. 3.3 assists. 48.5% from the field.
Okay.
40% from three. Let me quickly check how many threes he was taking. Oh, my goodness, Jay.
3 a game. 2 a game.
Jay. This brother, hold on. He played on 2 teams. Jay, in 2025-2026, Colin Sexton was taking 4.1 threes a game.
Wow.
Shot it at 40%. So that's
How tall is Colin Sexton? 6'2", tops?
Hey.
No, I'm just asking.
Reference says 6'3".
6'3"?
That's what it says. Okay? And that's probably with shoes on.
What do I have to pay him? What does Colin Sexton require?
I don't think his market is crazy. I think
talking
it's
$10 million?
Yeah.
A year?
He's coming off 17.
Might have to get about 8, half of that.
There are no more conversations about starting. You're a backup.
Yeah,
now.
you're a backup.
So 2 for 20. Let's get it popping.
Can I give you 2 for 16?
Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Let me see what else is out there. That's a great. I
like Colin Sexton.
Okay, so there's a name.
Put him on the
for
short
you.
list.
Yes. I love my boy Rui. I've seen some stuff on Rui. I don't know, but honestly, you can't do anything with DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of ends that conversation.
And I think Rui is in the mode of he's probably going to get 15. I know this is a wide gap, but I could see him getting anywhere from about 15 to 25, depending on the team that likes him.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked him for a long time, but again, it's
I think
kind of.
he fits the bill with exactly what, albeit I say, what we want Keegan to be.
I don't disagree with you.
I think that's a perfect picture.
And Rui was getting paid 17 a year. What, Keegan getting 26 a year, something like that?
I mean,
you got Whitey. Whitey's guy, can't speak on him while he's not here. Mitchell Robinson. Okay.
He's got to at least be getting 15 a year. That's probably
he is
probably priced out a little bit.
Right. Kelly Olynyk.
Nah.
Kelly Olynyk's 35. I'm washed. How Kenny Olynyk 35 years old? How did that happen?
Don't do Kelly like that, man.
Man. Matisse Thybulle.
No.
Yeah, that was something.
Good D though.
Mo Wagner, that's interesting. He had a bunch of injuries.
Hustle guy, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of injuries. Maxi Kleba, who's 34 years old. When did this happen?
Really?
When did this happen? Then you get down, Jay, and as we're going, right, the amounts are less and less.
Free agent lists.
That's right. A couple guys, Luke Kennard. What about
not for me?
What about Gabe Vincent for a backup PG?
I like that.
He's going to be cheaper than.
I like that.
For sure, cheaper. Local guy.
I like that.
Right? Definitely going to be cheaper than Colin Sexton. I think that's a free agency conversation. It's who's the backup point guard.
So you think they're pinpointing?
I think they need somebody. I don't think it's going to be Malik.
I mean, if you well, I think he spells it, but I think if you're really looking at this roster, it sounds like, for all intents and purposes, Emmanuel Sharp is on this roster as a second-round draft pick. He's going to be on this roster. It looks like we know Precious is coming back. It sounds like DQ's coming back as well.
Yes,
it's like the Kings want Daquan Plowden to be back as well. So if I'm looking at it, I think you might be right because you got Caldwell, you got Max, you have Domas, that's your, center position. You have Alex Caravan, Keegan, DeAndre Hunter. Well, I'm missing some. Precious.
Right.
Those are your forwards for the most part. DQ is probably the last one that fills in that position. And now you look at the backside of it. You got Acuff,
Levine,
Neek, Levine, Malik. I don't know, Alan. I don't really know where the next piece of this is going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe Malik is your backup point guard. He's a combo guy. But what did Scott Perry say? He said Neek can run some point. That's what he told us last year. Now, maybe that has changed.
Right.
I don't know if the morning show asked him about that this morning because I didn't hear that part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they're comfortable.
I'm not seeing if you just go Malik then.
Yeah.
I think Malik, that's not a slight on Neek. I just think
Sure.
Malik is a better point guard if you're not going to bring anybody in, right?
Where are they at? If they bring Precious back and DQ back, that's 13 of 13. Am I miscounting?
You're probably right.
Because what we've been told, and this isn't concrete, is Emmanuel Sharp is going to be on a standard deal, not a two-way.
Right.
So you got 4 guards back there: Emmanuel, Malik, Darius,
Levine,
and Zach. That's 4.
Yeah.
Where you put Neek in? 5? That's another guard?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 5 guards. Then you got DQ, Precious, Caravan, DeAndre, and Keegan.
Did you even count Sharp? Did you count Sharp?
Yeah, I put Sharp in as a guard.
And
That's
Sabonis?
10. Well, that's forwards.
Right,
and then you got your 3 centers.
Yeah.
That's 13 of 13.
That's 13.
You may not be hunting for nothing. We may not hear anything from the Kings, now that I think about it.
I don't know. I think, and I've been the one bagging on the whole point guard conversation, but I do feel like they need something.
But where are you
Something else.
putting them?
I don't know.
And then who's the odd man out?
But here's the problem. I could say,
we didn't count DeMar, remember?
No, we didn't count DeMar. Yeah. But here's the problem. I could say, I could question a Daquan Plowden signing or whatever, but money-wise, Daquan is cheaper than the 2 guys I just named, so it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, we're gonna have to get real frugal with it, Jay. We're gonna have to get real frugal with it.
Got to be in the Gabe Vincent.
Maybe.
But I guess what I'm asking is, if it's a 13-man roster, who's the odd man out?
Sharp to start.
You put him on a 2-way?
Yeah. Or just, kick it in the G League for a little bit while we figure things out.
There you go.
I mean, if you really run it, I just know they've talked to us so much about point guards. It just doesn't – they haven't ever noted to us, Jay, that they feel very to your point, they have talked more about Neek running point than Malik running point.
Yeah.
Which is just not a great sign as far as I'm concerned. Who's another name? I know the Kings aren't going to be able to be interested, but it's just so funny how your career can change so quickly. And I'm looking at a guy like Benedict Mathurin, who's 24 years old, restricted free agent.
Yeah.
What is he on the if the Clippers going to bring him back to do what exactly?
I think you got to know what he is.
Yeah.
Because you traded for him for Zubac, right? So you got to at least – you can't let him really walk without knowing who he is. I'm a Ben Mathurin guy. I'm interested in what he is, but I do know this. His time of figuring out, the type of player and how high his ceiling can be is probably next year. Then after that, as we talk about perceptions and things in the league, there may be a perception like, he's not going to never be, the 6th pick of the draft. He'll never be that guy. So I think his time is now. It's almost in the form of last year in 1140 insider Brendan Nunez said this off air, and I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit. And I said, if it was me, I'd really like to know what Keegan is for first 20 games. I got to know. Like, I'm at the point now, I need to know. And he was like, last year was the perfect opportunity, which we all know. And I'm just rehashing, creating an example. Last year was the great opportunity for him to really stretch his legs, and we would find out. We really wouldn't have a question.
Yeah.
The people that still have questions about it. That's the same way I feel with Ben Mathurin.
Yeah.
As I still think people are like, well, he might have a little more left in the tank, a little more nitro in the gas tank, and we just need to see it. But for whatever reasons, injuries, trades, things like that, just haven't been able to stretch his legs out and really showcase who he really is. And that's why I say we're coming up to a point with guys like Keegan, with guys like Ben Mathurin, and even at a smaller percentage, I think people want to know how serious LaMelo Ball is.
Yeah.
We have to know. We know he's a baller, but can you take it to the next level? And people want to know, is he truly serious about being a superstar more or less than an all-star or a star or something,
Yeah.
There's another level that he could possibly take.
I think that's the problem with Benedict Mathurin, and part of the reason why before Kuminga got traded, I called him Eastern Conference Kuminga, because when teams look at him, they probably don't know what they're looking at. You know what I mean? What is your bag in the league? You can score. Okay. I mean, they got Cam Thomas out of here. He could score.
Yeah.
So teams want to be able to look at you and fit you into a role and then pay you based on how good you are at that role. Benedict Mathurin does not have a role right now.
No, he doesn't.
So I think, you can be in the lab and post all the videos and, you could really be cooking, don't get me wrong, but the Clippers are going to look at you now in a post-Kawhi world. He might get those legs a little bit. Now, there's only one ball with him and Darius Garland, and now they got Keaton Wagler. Right. So they'll have to figure that one out. Kenrich Williams, the power forward.
I thought I just saw him.
Oh, is he done?
I thought I just saw him say he might agree to something.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
I saw Dean Wade was checking something out. Good for you, Dean.
Shouts out to Dean.
Shouts out Dean. Jet Howard, that was a name. Okay. Whenever we threw the magic around, that was a name. Nicholas Batum, who is almost 38 years old. So shout out Nicholas Batum. Gershon Yabusele.
I'm good.
Bradley Beal. Bradley. Now, I don't know who is interested in that. Obviously, he's not going to be expensive, but I don't know what you do there. Marcus Smart, we talked about him. We're going to have a Marcus Smart conversation at some point.
I like Marcus Smart, but I don't know where he fits.
I don't think he'd get enough. I don't know if he would get enough playing time or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
I'm with you.
I think he would.
With
but
Darius back there, you almost need him to kind of be a two.
Right.
A combination guard, which he's definitely played that before, right? But, we're going back to the championships with Rondo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so there he goes, Andre Drummond. Hey, how is Andre Drummond only 32? Like, what is happening?
These guys play 1 year in college and bounce out, bro.
What is happening?
Here, you got a couple people about that time, 2024. We're coming to a point. Basically saying some of these guys, and he's playing off of what I'm talking about. What I'm saying about that time is this. My perception of who Keegan Murray or Ben Mathurin and guys like that is, I have a perception of who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very clear in the fact of what I think about what Keegan brings to the table and Ben Mathurin. But I'm talking about the perception throughout the league. There's not a big perception of, and I'll tell you the reason why, is they traded Zubats for Ben Mathurin. So that lets me know the Clippers see some other things in him that maybe he still has one last push.
Yeah.
And maybe he might finally put, as they like to say, put everything together.
Yeah.
Right? Now, to you, maybe different. I'm with you. Because I'll be the first one to say, I think I know what Keegan is. But we've consistently had the conversation of, well, we got to kind of figure out, can he do this and that? Like, okay. I'm saying now we're getting to the point to where age is letting us know that's who you are.
Yeah.
Throughout the league. Not you, not me, not Allen. We've been on record. It sounds like you've got a perception of who some of these Ben Mathurin and Keegan are. What I'm saying is some people around the league who come on this show talk about it and say, well, there's still a little bit of conversation that Keegan can be this. Ben Mathurin can be that. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. But I do know this. Time waits for no man, and we get into the point where anybody above the age of 25 in the NBA, you OG, brother.
Yeah.
You got stripes. Go get your AARP card.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we better know who you are.
Exactly.
At that point in time.
Exactly.
Now, here's the difference between Keegan and Benedict Mathurin. I think we know who Keegan is. It's just, can you be the best version of that? I think most of us are done having the, this is Keegan's team. I know DeMar, how he meant that.
Right.
I don't know if it was as, he's going to be the number one option. I don't know if DeMar necessarily meant it that way. He's the youngest one on the team getting playing time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of us, Benedict Mathurin, there are more question marks, probably higher ceiling, to be honest, at this point.
Yep.
But we know what Keegan is. It's just, can you even be that? Or can you be what did they say? The Austin Rivers taking on Draymond. Draymond, you weren't a star.
Yeah.
You were a star in your role. Can Keegan be OG Anunoby? We always bring him up. Can you be a star in your role, Keegan? That's what we're asking. I'll tell you this, though, Jay.
Wiggins,
a star in your role. I will say this. We don't know what Keegan's going to be. What we do know is Scott Perry is not afraid to use a contract to facilitate things. He signed Dennis Schroeder. It didn't work out. He moved Dennis Schroeder.
Spun him.
He signed Keegan Murray. I don't think it's we signed him, so we locked in with him for 4 years, whatever the duration of the contract is.
Right.
They will be looking. And if things, not even if Keegan doesn't play well, but if things don't seem to fit or whatever it is, we do know that Scott Perry is not shy to make a move and see what's next.
Great point.
So that's it right there. When we return, some of your answers on the Kuminga Keegan conversation. A couple more updates we want to get to with NBA free agency. A couple names off the list, so you don't want to miss that. More Drive Guys coming up.
After 2 seasons in Sacramento, the Kings have traded guard Devin Carter to the Atlanta Hawks. With other potential trade assets on the roster, could more offseason moves be coming from Scott Perry and the front office?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Toyota's 4th of July sales event is on. This is the season for more. This 4th of July, get 3.99% APR plus $500 finance cash on 2026 Tacoma SR5. Or get 2.99% APR plus $1,000 finance cash on Tundra. Make the most of summer in a new Toyota truck. Don't miss the 4th of July sales event. Toyota. Let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with pre-rated credit and can't be combined with other offers. Cashback offer excludes Tundra TRD Pro and 6/30/26.
Order up, Sacramento.
And for you, sir?
I will have the gabagool. The dinner bell rang, and it's time to find out what's on the menu.
Lunch? Oh, you gotta be kidding. Lunch is for whips.
So fire up the grill and crank up the burners because it's time to find out what's cooking on the Drive Guys.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?
Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
I'll have what she's having.
Whitey Gleason out today. Thank you for being with us till 6 p.m., of course. And as we are asking the question, what's cooking? What's cooking today? The Alan Stiles wish list. That's what it is. Now, I'm not going to mention that dude that was in the Bay and now in, of course, Atlanta. But I am going to mention another name as we didn't even get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, we got through a lot of this list, but we didn't get all the way to the bottom with so many players out there. And this guy who is now betting on himself an unrestricted free agent, one of the more polarizing players that the Kings have had over the last couple seasons. You did not think we were going to let free agency start and there wasn't going to be a Keon Ellis conversation, did you? You didn't think we were going to get that far. Yeah, we can continue to talk about Jonathan Kuminga, things like that, but you didn't think I wasn't going to spin the block on my guy Keon Ellis. Now this is
man.
Now this is an
Where are you going to put him at, Alan?
No, you find it somewhere.
Where are you going to put him at?
Hey, you know when they have a vet that's sitting on that's going to sit on the bench and the rookie got to move?
Yes, sir.
Somebody got to move for Keon.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh, who?
Somebody got to move.
I'm going to pull a Whitey Gleason. If you put in Keon on this roster, who you taking off right now?
Man. You know, it's a tough one here. It's a tough one. There are no names I'm going to say, Jay, because we got Media Day coming up. I'm not kicking nobody off.
So then how are you making it happen? Explain it to me.
You know, Scott, that's Scott's job. That's not my job. My job is to say, I want Keon, and so make it happen. Now, look, we always get this texter around this time. I don't know how their schedule works out, but during the playoffs and prior to, this texter would always pop in around this time, 5 o'clock, 5:30. And we see you, Jeff. We're going to get to you, Jeff. Don't worry, we got you. But this texter would always text in and, I guess, defend why they thought that Keon was overrated. Okay?
Okay.
Now, we went back and forth. I don't know how I turned into the Keon guy. I thought we were all Keon people. Then it kind of switched once Keon was no longer wearing Sacramento Kings jersey. My feeling was always, man, you had to salary dump Dennis Schroeder and use Keon Ellis to get back DeAndre Hunter, who we don't know what the Kings are going to do with DeAndre Hunter, whether he's going to get an extension, whether the Kings are going to flip him, and what price tag it would be if the Kings flip him, right? There's that. So with that being said, I really don't have a ton of arguments as far as what Scott Perry did, right? Now, we'll see where Keon ends up going. I think at one point we were discussing, I don't know, what was it? 12 a year? 12 to 14 a year? I don't know that Keon's still getting that. I have no clue. That's one of the names I was hoping to pop up today, and it hasn't yet. Maybe it'll pop up tonight.
Wait. Let me make sure I heard this clear. Mm-hmm. Make sure that my headphones are working properly. Mm-hmm. You said Keon could be, not now, but at one point in time was in a conversation to get 12 to 14 a year?
If I'm not mistaken, there was a model. No, hold on now. There was a model, and it said when Keegan, it must have been.
No, Keon.
Or Keon. Yeah. It must have been what? It wasn't this past season because he didn't play.
Sure.
But the season prior, the season when everything went down with Fox and everyone, there was a model, I don't know if Bobby Marks or Keith Smith, whoever it was, and his value was $14 million.
The WABA.
The WOBA, the WABA. So that's what it is.
Okay.
I don't think that's what he's projecting. He ain't going to get that now, Jay.
No, sir.
But, you know, what, you think he getting, here you go. Okay, this is it, Jay. Keon Ellis is entering unrestricted free agency with market projections estimating an annual average salary.
It must have been.
Hold on now.
It must have been something a little lower than that. A lot lower than that.
Hold on now. Let me see what. Now what in the world? Now see, they played him when they played him, and now they don't pay him. So
wait, you know what you look like? You know, you're getting to that age bracket. But my daughter is trying to prove a point of saying, like, Dad, and you know something? And I'm like, baby, that's not how it went down. And, you know, she pulls it up on the phone and she's like, yeah, but, you know, no, say what you were going to say.
No, I'm just looking here. This is not. Okay.
Them numbers ain't matching?
No.
They not mapping?
Well, look, it changed, obviously. It changed, right? So
what you got them down on the paperwork
So now
for?
it's looking like
about
7 to 10.
7?
Oh, okay. 7 to 10.
7 to 10.
So what, 2 years, 16 mil.
3 to 4 million a year.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 years, 16.
2 for 16.
2 for
Colin Sexton.
Right.
Or
right
the 2
there
for
in the
20,
middle.
as the boss man likes to say.
Right there in the middle.
The double dipper. 2
so,
for 20.
I don't know. I thought, yeah. And now I'm here.
This one a little lower?
This is the Athletic, and it says it's from the Athletic staff. Everything that happened leading up to opening day of free agency. The first question, Jay, does anyone want Keon Ellis?
Dang.
Okay.
Who wrote this was from the staff.
It's got the staff, so It's got Mike Prada, it's got John Hollinger. My numbers have always been far, far more bullish on Keon Ellis than the people who coach his teams. Oh, CJ, he got him valued.
Or 10 million?
19.9. That's your boy John.
2 for 9. So 9 annually. 2 for 18.
No.
Oh, 2 for 9. Meaning 5.5.
19.9 per year.
19.20 a year?
Yes.
Stop it.
Evaluation from John Hollinger.
Stop.
Yesterday.
What?
Yesterday.
20 mil
Actually,
a year.
Today. This came out today. It's a live blog, Jay. The Cavs barely used Ellis after acquiring him at midseason from Sacramento, whose more baffling unwillingness to put him on the court made him available in the first place. Did I write this?
Still taking shots at us in Sacramento, John.
At his best, Ellis is a plus defender at guard who is money on open threes, 40.7% career, but he's undersized against apex wings and doesn't offer a lot of shot creation. Because of that, I'd say his true market is probably half of that projected amount. So we're right back to the 10, Jay. So you give me
all that, but then it's back to 10.
He said, I'd give him this, but ain't nobody going to give him this. So, yeah.
Take the 10.
30,
10 a year.
10, what? 3 for 30.
3 for 30.
That'd be a nice come up for Keon.
Oh, man, it'd be a nice come up for anybody.
Hey, come home, Key.
To where?
Bring him home, Key.
Where?
Here.
Come on, man. We don't have that.
No.
Where are you? Okay, so one more time.
Okay.
Putting the pressure on you.
Yeah, I know.
On my Whitey Gleason situation.
I know.
Allen, who comes off the roster?
He ain't coming back.
All right.
He ain't coming. Because I'm not saying
give me an angle.
I'm not.
You push
we
Emmanuel.
Already played with the Kuminga.
Emmanuel
Keegan.
Sharp pushes to the 2-way.
Yeah, he goes to the 2-way.
You got one spot done. So now that's where Keon fills in.
He goes to the 2-way.
Okay.
Carter's gone. They play one-on-one, King of the Hill. Nee Clifford, Keon, winner, stays on the team.
Okay. I'll take it.
That's what it is.
That's what we're down to.
That's what it is. So, looks like, we're hoping Keon gets around $10 million a year. But it ain't going to be with the Kings, man.
No.
It's over.
Unfortunately
I guess
you.
This is a What's Cooking segment, but I guess the stove turning off.
What's cooking is free agent 7-footer Brandon Carlson.
Who? Come on, man.
Don't do that, man.
No, I'm just,
He's agreed to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal to sign with the Portland Trailblazers. Baby, it's hot right now.
Come on, man.
Free agency is hot.
This is ridiculous. And Shams, I'm about to turn these notifications off. I'm about to turn them off.
Why do you have them on?
I mean, you never know what could go on, trying to make sure I don't miss anything. So, Keon done. Kuminga done. My wish list is done, Jay.
Yeah.
My wish list is absolutely cooked. Yeah. I will say, though, Emmanuel Sharp is somebody that can pretty much literally do what Keon was doing. I'm not saying he's going to do that.
Yeah.
But if you remember Keon's story, and everybody does, undrafted, all that, you could find, the hope is that you could find someone to do some of that.
Which is hopefully Sharp.
Exactly.
I think the Keon / Devin now / Emmanuel Sharp position is kind of all interchangeable. Yeah. Keon did it pretty well at points and times throughout his tenure in Sacramento, almost to the point to where, people were questioning, and some were. Hey, man, Keon should probably get a bigger role.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's first of all, a test to him because he's playing at a high level many times. And hopefully you see the same thing with Emmanuel Sharp. I think that's where the Kings picked Emmanuel Sharp kind of in that same, profile.
Right. So, you know what? It's funny because that kind of proves that it wasn't a matter of even moving Devin Carter.
Right.
It wasn't a matter of we don't like Keon or we don't like Devin Carter, but you would know this better than anyone, Jay. Sometimes, politics get involved, new regime. I'd rather just have more of the guys that know me or that I handpicked. There wasn't really a problem with the type of player Keon. He ain't perfect. There wasn't really a problem there. It was more so about, hey, where we at? You know what I mean? As far as the future here. All right, Jeff, thank you for hanging on. Let's get cooking with Jeff. Jeff is on the line. What's up, Jeff? What you got for us?
It's a pleasure. I like you in this slot better in the afternoon. I get to hear you more often.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and Jay as well. I appreciate it. But as I shared with Jay, I've been hearing all day between Detroit and Sacramento, and I'm a little confused. Jalen Duren, last year, regardless of what happened in the playoffs, the man earned the right to a supermax. So I keep hearing Detroit talk about, well, he ain't entitled, he ain't worth it, he ain't. Dude, whether you like it or not, you're being disingenuous. If you and I were entitled to a supermax, you're going to go for the supermax. If he wasn't entitled to it, it wouldn't be on the table. So my thinking is that Scott Perry is a year ahead of schedule. He never thought that this was going to be possible. He's going to offer him the supermax. Who cares? And what happens is that either Detroit says yes or no. And from my understanding is Detroit doesn't want to pay anybody else because they don't have that kind of money to be giving him that position. So we can afford to because we're just going to be a year ahead early, and we don't want to be in the tank mode. So if we get our 1A and 1B, we're set. All we have to do is build around those two kids. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a great call, Jeff, and appreciate the kind words, and thank you for popping in. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to more of it on the other side, but my initial thought is, and that's what I asked Amari earlier, Jay, how often does somebody qualify from the Supermax and not get it?
Yeah.
Right? I know it's a new world, but how often do you say, hey, and don't get me wrong, I think that should happen more often, right? Because I don't think everything is as it seems. To Jeff's point, though, you had a bad playoff run. I'm 22 years old. The only reason we had the 1 seed, along with Cade, of course, the dude, was because of me. We had the most run play in the NBA. That's what Brendan said, the pick and roll. And I achieved this, bring Detroit back, and you don't want to pay out?
Man.
That was my question with Omari, and you can check that out on YouTube from the Detroit Press. Are there any hard feelings there? Because it just doesn't happen. And they're not even giving him the normal max, or they initially didn't want to do that. So is that business, or is that a little bit of, dang, where we at? The supermax is one thing, but now I can't even remember what Mark J. Spears called it. The twisting of the words. This is what we feel is possible. This is the most we feel possible. Great call, Jeff. Let's close out the show. And on the other side, we still have free agency news. Oh, there's some big names. Oh, some big names. Jay's phone is hot. With it, we close out the show. More Drive, guys. Don't move.
The top young talent in the NBA is headed to Sacramento this summer for the 8th annual California Classic presented by Ticketmaster. The Kings will host the Milwaukee Bucks, Brooklyn Nets, and Golden State Warriors in a preseason showcase that's sure to bring more fireworks to your 4th of July weekend. 3-day general admission passes for July 4th, 5th, and 6th are available now. Visit kings.com/California Classic for details.
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. As many of you know, my song Winning Streak is about my own personal struggles with addiction. I first sought help for my addiction at 14 years old. Start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org. The real you is worth recovering. Choose Change California provides access to proven treatment options for addiction to opioids and stimulants. ChooseChangeCA.org. This is your chance to recover your life.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is Carla Hall for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
It's been quite the show. Not that there have been a lot of moves as far as the Kings are concerned, but there were never going to be a lot of moves as far as the Kings are concerned. I think we should all just be, happy that Scott Perry was putting his name in the hat and hoping that something popped. We didn't have any expectations. At least I didn't going into this free agency. So when it came out, I think the way it came out made things a little bit sticky because you're looking thinking, oh man, this guy wants to come to Sacramento. That matters, right? And I think the reality is not that it's not true. It just didn't really matter as much as we thought.
I'd say there's 2 or 3 things for me is when it comes to what you're talking about. First, free agency. It's real slow when you look around and everybody's talking about players that are on other people's teams being traded. Those are the big deals. And of course, LeBron's out there, right? So that kind of tells you where the league is at. Second, I know Kings fans don't want to hear this, Alan, and I get it because I'm in the same boat. But I also have to kind of take, a step, as I always like to do, take a step back. The fact that we are in the mix of a Jalen Duren. The fact that we are in the conversation for, player B or in the C or Domas going to Toronto or Detroit or, you cooked up one that we're going to run with here for the next couple of days. He's going to Boston. Right? Like, because we're even in those conversations, to me, lets me know we're not there yet, Kings fans. We're definitely not there yet. Please don't settle. Don't settle at all. Keep banging on the door. Keep asking for, your star. Keep knocking on the door for looking for, good pieces to come and play here. Keep wanting your team to be the best and the greatest and striving for a championship that we all looking for, right? We all want that. But there is something that to be said that Scott is amongst some of these conversations.
Yeah.
That phone is still sizzling.
Yeah.
Somebody's still picking that phone up. Some people are calling Scott, where in the past it has not been that.
Right.
Again, I don't want to give praise for things that aren't being done, and I don't want to settle. So Kings fans don't. But there's got to be something said to, Scott is, as TC like to say, Jay, Kings fans, let these boys cook.
Yeah.
There's got to be something there because in 24 hours prior to yesterday, wasn't nobody talking about the Kings and Jalen Duren.
No.
The fact that I don't even know if they're going to have the meeting anymore or if the meeting has been done, because I've been looking, I've been asking. I shot a couple texts out to people. And on the home front, it's pretty quiet right now, Alan. No one wants to say if he's at this meeting yet, which kind of lets me know probably hasn't happened, right? Like maybe some phone calls, but sit down at fixins, maybe not. He ain't got the snapper or the catfish. I like to get the snapper myself. You like the oxtails?
I need the oxtails.
I actually pretty simple. I go with the fried chicken, but I'm just saying there are some things that Scott Perry is accomplishing without accomplishing.
Yeah.
And I think as Kings fans, we have to look at that and say, all right, Scott, people saying, Scott, we trust. I'm hoping one of these Jalen Duren conversations for player A, B, or C happens and we don't just continue to talk about it happening.
Yeah, it's interesting when you put it like that, because when the Beam team was doing their thing, I wonder, it all happened so fast, and you had that Domantas Sabonis trade, of course, for Tyrese Halliburton, but then the next full season you make the playoffs. Jay, did it feel like fans trusted Monty McNair, or was it, hey, we got good, we'll see what happens with Domantas Sabonis, and then of course that next season they don't make a lot of moves during that offseason. Obviously they broke the drought, and I believe Monty might have won GM of the year as well.
He did.
But did it feel like right now Scott is building a level of trust that maybe even though Monty McNair went to the playoffs, Kings fans never had, because everything just happened so fast. He came in, they were trying to get good. They became good. They made the trade for Halliburton, and then everything went left immediately. It feels like Scott is building a level of trust that maybe Kings fans haven't had, and he's got to make some moves, don't get me wrong.
Great point.
But building a level of trust in Kings fans, and more importantly in ownership, that maybe wasn't there in the past.
I think you're spot on with that. I say this. For me, I never really got a good grasp on Monty coming from an assistant general manager, the position with the Houston Rockets, to coming here. And it was kind of one of them things, well, I'm going to sit by idle and let's see how he works. And then, I'll decipher my thoughts and, what I believe in. And for most Kings fans, I think he lost them when he didn't bust a move after the Beam team.
Yeah.
Right? It was, we sat idle, and Sasha is supposed to be the great end-all, be-all, the piece that was going to make everything move and let this engine move a little bit further. And people, every day begged and asked, why aren't we doing anything? We need to move on it. And that's the one thing, like we talked about the Raptors a little bit today. They finished, fifth this year, right? Because they played the Cavs the first round, I think. They finished fifth in the East. They believe, which is the question I asked, they believe with Kawhi coming that way, and Barnes and R.J. Barrett and Quigley and everything, they have some room to grow, and they see an opening. And I respect that. Even if I don't see it, they see something. So, hey, like Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges and all that say, man, nobody care about them picks.
Yeah.
Because when it's all said and done, we host that trophy, we're going to be talking about something, right?
Right.
So I get the way Toronto is moving. I think that's where Monty kind of lost the fans of Sacramento. You didn't see that. You didn't see what we believe we had. Now, look back in history, we probably didn't have what we thought we had at the time.
Sure.
But who knows?
Right.
You just never know, man. You never know. And I think that's the part where Kings fans are looking at Scott Perry to bring it up to, current times. Is like, look, he done cooked his way back into this first round twice now.
Right.
So people are like, okay, I see you a little aggressive with the draft. Now we want to see how you move and operate in free agency.
Yeah, and last offseason, what Scott Perry was able to do, look, man, the Dennis Schroeder thing didn't work. There's no putting lipstick on that. We all know that. But it also wasn't a pure offseason. You had to get, there were more years on everyone's deal. Still almost felt like DeMar deserved somewhat of a play at it. DeMar, Sabonis, Levine. This is an offseason where Scott doesn't really owe anybody anything. Oh, right. He don't owe nobody anything. So he can do what he wants when he wants. And I think the thing is, there's a difference between a GM where, we never know what he's going to do. I'm not saying that somebody telegraphs their moves, but the type of moves. I think the thing with Monty is, okay, so Monty's thing is he's going to move off of young talent to get us win now talent, because that's what he did with Sabonis. Then he didn't do it again, right? So it was, I thought you were this type of GM, and you're going overseas and doing a bunch of random stuff. It feels like we're growing with Scott Perry to know that dude's gonna try to get back in the draft, try to get in the first round no matter what, right? That's number one. Number two, if there's somebody that he has been connected to in the past, he's probably gonna spin the block if he thinks that it can help. Number three, if there's somebody he thinks fits his pillars, he will be aggressive. So we don't know. Like, I couldn't have told you, because of that. He's probably last week, if I had said, he's going to go after Jalen Duren, well, then my sources would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. So I don't know that, but we know we're starting to find out the identity, the style that Scott Perry has, and I don't think we ever knew that with Monty. So I think that's big stuff. Some of the things to kind of wrap up here. Look, this isn't me. 510 says, give me Kuminga and an Atlanta first rounder and ship out Keegan Murray. I love it. You're not getting. Now look here, 510. You ain't getting a first rounder and Kuminga for Keegan.
Can I get a swap?
We might be able to swap. We might be able to do a swap. 530 says, do we know if the Kings are entertaining any undrafted players this summer? Yes, we'll have that for you. The reason we hadn't gotten to it yet is because there are different levels of undrafted players. Last season with Dylan Cardwell, they made kind of a bigger deal out of it, but we got that list for you tomorrow. Don't you worry. And that about does it. Thank you for listening to The Drive, guys. Jay, appreciate you. Brandon Nunez, appreciate you. Frankie Cardicelli, appreciate you. We got Frankie Cardicelli back on the airwaves. That's what you call a free agent frenzy. Then nothing happened. How does that happen? Go check out our interview with Omari Sankofa of the Detroit Free Press. It will give you everything you need to know about the one, the only Jalen Duren. We got some more sports talk coming with you, great sports talk coming with you, so don't you move. And until tomorrow, secure the bet, like the beat.
The top young talent in the NBA is headed to Sacramento this summer for the 8th annual California Classic presented by Ticketmaster. The Kings will host the Milwaukee Bucks, Brooklyn Nets, and Golden State Warriors in a preseason showcase that's sure to bring more fireworks to your 4th of July weekend. 3-day general admission passes for July 4th, 5th, and 6th are